Blackline Brief starts now.
What is up, everybody? Happy Saturday morning. Whoa, easy does it there. Not trying to do too much. Just kidding. Not a normal show time, but felt that it was necessary having started watching. This is going to be somewhat of a live reaction. Saw that Andrew Kolvet just popped on the Chicks on the Right podcast, who I know we despise, but there's a lot of, from the little bit that I was able to preview, we got to take a look. And so welcome in, everybody. Man, I'm all thrown off with my opener. I already said, what is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Blackline Brief. I'm your host, Matthew McKim. Sorry that I'm a little backwards on the opener, but all right. Please hit the like and subscribe as you guys get in and get settled. It's the best way to help support the channel, and I appreciate it every time that you do. All right, let's see. We already got a gift. We got an Unk Alert. Thank you so much, Susie. All right, let's get right into it. So not much to open up to like build this up for you guys. But obviously riding the wave of the Andrew Wilson debate with Candace Owens, TPUSA is not making any stride to distance themselves from Andrew. And I don't know if it's been verified yet, but I've heard that TPUSA, and maybe you guys could chime in on it, that TPUSA has hired Andrew and his wife, or maybe just his wife, to run a women's event or a women's summit coming up. Even if that doesn't get verified, what is important to me is Andrew is clearly operating on TPUSA's behalf. All right. And whether or not he was paid directly and specifically to do the debate, I definitely think the whole story that he was hired to train the next crop of debaters is a cover, right? That's just the cover so they could have an explanation as to why he went down there, right? And why did money transfer from TPUSA to them? Well, they can say we hired him. He trained the next crop of debaters. Oh, okay. And then just remember, supposedly during that time that he went down to the headquarters, he felt that while training the next crop of debaters was the right time to interrogate employees. I mean, that's the only way you can explain what he would have done, and even what he said he did. He said he walked around headquarters and just started asking people questions about Charlie's relationship with Candace Owens. When did Charlie and Candace have a falling out, or if they did, or if they didn't, walking around in good faith, right? Asking people about the Charlie Kirk assassination, about Charlie's relationships. And then at the same time, he stops to give Erica a hug, right? He just wanted to give her a hug. And then asked Andrew Kolvet about all of this. But remember, that's not why he's there. Don't get confused. That's not why he's there. He's there to train the next crop of debaters. Okay. And then also, this is the time when text messages and whatever the other evidence is that he's alluding to. He said he has tons of evidence, which is going to exonerate, TPUSA and Erica Kirk from any of the suspicion that they've been clouded under since the assassination. I don't know. Is that really the time? You're down there training the next crop of debaters, and you're like, hey, I mean, heck, while I'm here, do you have evidence? They love the word evidence. Can you give me evidence? So I think it's a cover. I think that's just their plausible deniability to be like, this is why he was here. This is why we paid him. This is the job he did. And it just so happens that he turns into their horse that they're riding off into the sunset, right? He is their pit bull that is now taking on Candace Owens directly. because Gary failed, Graham Allen, Jack Posobiec, Andrew Kolvet, they all failed, right? So they needed someone, and they choose Andrew Wilson. Okay. And that's my opinion, that this is all deliberate, and that it's not just a coincidence that he's doing this on behalf of TPUSA and Andrew and Erica. But all right, let's freaking get into it.
Welcome to another episode of the Chicks on the Right podcast. We are so stoked to have with us Andrew Kolvet, executive producer of the Charlie Kirk Show and also TPUSA spokesman. And we have so much stuff that we want to ask you about. But before anything else,
it's going to get good.
We are coming up on a very sad anniversary, obviously, the anniversary of Charlie's assassination. And we were hoping that maybe you could talk a little bit about what you miss most, and maybe share an anecdote with our audience that they may not have heard about Charlie before, maybe your relationship with him.
Yeah, well, I just want to say that this is a great question. I just want to say how much I totally dig you guys. I relatively recently discovered you, and I apparently we talked about it just before we started rolling here. I just,
He recently discovered them. That's interesting. What show did they recently go on? Anyone? Bueller? Oh, he went on Gary Meltdown. Paramount, Not So Tactical. And it is my opinion that all of these people are coordinating and working together on behalf of TPUSA and this administration and Erica Kirk and Andrew Kolvet. So it's no, coincidence that they're on this show, that he's on their show today. They make a, I guess, living. I mean, like, one of their main jobs seems to be combating any ulterior narratives regarding Tyler Robinson and Charlie Kirk assassination, and to just, together, the two of them. Oh my gosh, they are in. I just saw. Look at them. Look at Andrew. Whoa, you're fawning over him, ladies. Whoa, you guys, chill out. Oh my gosh, that got me off tangent. All right.
mentions on Twitter are off or something.
Arf.
But I think you guys are wonderful, and I love your spirit. I love how spicy you are, and you're fearless. And I've just become a huge fan of what you guys do and how you approach things. And when people come after you and you send them back, and it's so fun. So sometimes I've gotten stuck watching like your comment threads. That's actually my favorite part. Is
right.
I know is how you deal with the haters. I thought it was great. So
well, thank you.
But you guys are wonderful, and thank you for being Team Sanity. And by the way, I should say, just with all this like Lindsay Clancy stuff going on, and everybody's coming after women. I just want to say there are good women out there. Look at right here. We have them. I'm married to one. She's amazing, totally sane and normal, has her common sense. Wife. And you guys are wonderful representatives of that. So
thank you.
Yeah, we have our 1 year coming up. And it's constantly this battle for me personally, because I think people, they're analyzing everything we say, or are we sad enough? Are we too happy? Or are we not talking about it enough? And people don't understand that we have a job to do every day. Like we have to do the basic blocking and tackling of running an organization with 1,200 employees across the different groups. And we've got to plan everything that we're doing for 9/10, which is a lot of stuff, because Charlie deserves everything that we can possibly do for him, to remember him. And, just like you said, remember the good things, remember the mission, remember what he taught us, or what he taught the world. So we're constantly like in the trenches, like working on stuff.
You're constantly trying not to get hit by all of the strays coming at you guys, because you guys are incredibly shady. Do you not realize that, like, it is not misdirected suspicion, right? It's not because we're evil, we're demonic, and that you guys just have done nothing suspicious and weird since 9/10. It is 100% your own doing. Why we're all like, what are we looking at with these people? And him trying to act like that him and everyone there at TPUSA are upholding Charlie's legacy is insane. And I don't know why I can't find. Oh, here it is. I found it. Okay. CharlieKirkLegacy.com. All right. And this is if you want to give them your information, which I don't. But they are honoring Charlie Kirk by holding an event at UVU on 9/10. So for the anniversary, right? Or I don't know, what would you call it? It's not, I guess it's still called the anniversary of Charlie Kirk's assassination. So like, let's go here. This is what it looks like on X. This is their X post. Remembering his life, honoring his legacy. And this is put out by Turning Point USA. So this is real. They are really doing this. Join us on 9/10 at the UCCU Center on the campus of UVU with Glenn Beck, Frank freaking Turek, and more as we reflect on Charlie Kirk's extraordinary impact. CharlieKirkLegacy.com, which is where you would sign up. And I had started doing it and I was like, oh no, I'm not giving my number. Oops. Hopefully that doesn't pop up. Oh no. Let's see. All right, I'll move on from that. All right. Yeah, that you have to put in all your private information in order to sign up for this event. Not going to do it. Not going to do it. So I don't know who's going to be there. I was thinking about like, should I go there on 9/10? I don't know if they're going to even let me in. I was thinking about going down there for September 1st for the oral arguments that are going to be happening, between the defense and the prosecution. That's one possibility of me going down there for that. Or I thought it might be more interesting if I can't do both and I had to pick, because I could live stream the trial, the oral arguments day, the extenuation of the preliminary hearing. But to go in person to this memorial where I might actually be able to ask Frank Turek a question and maybe post it. I don't know. So I thought that would be a better thing to do. TPUSA would only do this event to taint the jury pool. Yeah, well, and a lot of other things. Sorry. I'm still waking up. I don't think it's just to taint the jury pool. I think that's definitely part of it. I think that the other part, my contact. The other part is, do you guys remember the technology that they have with Superfeed, right? You have the Show Faith by Works FAR filing, okay? And then the Show Faith by Works, and then the Clock Tower X FAR filing. And Superfeed is this company that Lori Francvi, I'm pretty sure she owns, or at least she's like high up on it. Like, let's see. Let's see. I'm looking it up. No, that's not true. Hold on. Is a tech so Lori Francve is a tech entrepreneur, executive, and corporate director who serves as a board director for Superfeed Technologies. Okay. She's a board director. Beyond her direct role in the company, she possesses deep ties to conservative media and organizational networks, right? So role at Superfeed Technologies, Lori Francve. According to Arizona Corporation Commission filings, Francve sits on the board of Superfeed Technologies alongside high-profile conservative operatives like Tyler Boyer, COO of Turning Point Action. So Tyler Boyer is also a board of director. for Superfeed Technologies. And it's data. The company is a data and infrastructure control company because Superfeed builds and owns the white label source code and infrastructure powering applications for the right-wing political movements. Her presence on the board places her at a critical intersection of voter, donor, data, and canvassing technology. Who's the other guy? Yeah, and Lori Franzfey is the mother of Erica Kirk. If you did not know this, right? And so if you go to this event, right? And so going back to what I'm saying here, if you go to this event, your phone is, in my opinion, all of the events that they've done since 9/10, the Make Heaven Crowded events, AmFest, CLS, Student Action Summit, any event where TPUSA is running it, you could just bet. Like, if you go to any event that's connected to TPUSA, you need a Faraday bag or you need to get yourself a Zero Ghost phone. All right. And that's because if you go in there, most likely, right, your phone's going to be grafted into this network where then you're going to be force fed pro-Israel, anti-Hamas, anti-Iran, right? Propaganda about October 7th. If you go to church, there's churches on the list that are part of this FAR filing. Christian universities and colleges are on this FAR filing. And it's not like you're in the clear as long as you don't go to an event or you don't go to one of these churches. The part of this technology is that when you leave, it has the ability to do a Bluetooth handshake with other devices. So you go home, this phone is going to our phones already constantly try to communicate with local networks and to other devices. And so the capacity is like Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, right? And so if it does do this Bluetooth handshake with other devices, it infects these other devices. And that means you're not necessarily safe if you don't go to this church or you don't go to this university. If your son does and comes home, watch out. If someone else goes to one of these events and you stand next to them in line at Starbucks or at a gas station or restaurant or whatever, the potential is still there to be grafted in to this network where they're going to be force feeding you propaganda directly from the Foreign Ministry of Israel. That's who's on the FAR filings of the Show Faith by Works and the Clock Tower X. It's on behalf of the Foreign Ministry of Israel. And TPUSA now is like this. So, what? A little just because, Matt. What do you mean? What's a little just because? What did I miss? I don't know. What did I miss? Let's see. Let me go back. Okay. No, I think we're good. Don't go. Don't waste your time at the memorial. Don't do it. They want money. Yeah, but I wouldn't give money. Geocache, yeah, all attendances too. Yep, and geotag. Yep. Get a burner phone if you go. You know they're going to track everyone. Correct. I mean, that's why I would take my Zero Ghost phone. And I'd leave my regular phone somewhere else. Let's see. Did you send another one? No, I was trying to understand what you meant by a little just because, Matt. I don't know what that meant. Aussie Andy. All right, let's get back to the video.
You know, I remember leading up to the memorial, you know, it was like we had 1 week to plan a 70,000 plus person event with all of these world leaders coming and Elon Musk and all this. And it's just like you don't have time to even assess what you feel half the time.
Well, you didn't plan anything. Okay. You handed the responsibilities of planning that event off to Aubrey Leish. Remember, you were too emotional. You couldn't handle it. Aubrey Leish took over and pretty much planned and orchestrated the majority of what your role would have been for that event. Aubrey Leish did for you. And yeah, we know that you were very, very aware that world leaders, high up individuals, this was the perfect time to push wealthy people to be potential donors. Yeah, I could only imagine how much money you raise, not just from like average attendees, like $5 here, $50 here, $1,000 here, from like smaller, not Elon Musk type individuals, but how much you guys were able to raise from the very, very big, rich, and powerful people that showed up to your memorial. And don't forget, Tyler Boyer, in the days after the assassination, was extremely conscious of the fact that this event was going to be like the Super Bowl. His memorial, Tyler Boyer, the Super Bowl. That's what he was telling other employees in private communications, that it was going to be like the Super Bowl, right? The event of the century. Don't miss this opportunity to make money. Yeah, the Super Bowl.
And, I would just say it's one of those things. Me and my wife, we were on a road trip this weekend. I took my phone away. My wife took, I promised her that I was going to be off social media for the weekend. And, we were driving through the desert with our kids in the back. And she kind of looked at me and she was like, I just had one of those moments. And I was like, what is that? And she said, I still can't believe he's gone.
Yeah.
And she was quoting me because over the last year, I've just had, I don't know, so many moments where I have to pinch myself and realize this is real life, that Charlie isn't with us anymore, because he still feels so present all the time. I'm in his studio right now doing this interview with you, and I'm looking at his chair right here. I'm looking at his the little toys from his daughter that she would give him before he went on air, and he would hold them up when she was watching the show, so she knew that he remembered the toys and brought them with him. And so
well, that's not true. Erica Kirk said she was coming into the office every day except for the day that she took little Gigi to dance. Remember? Charlie Kirk was equipping Erica to take over CEO. Do you not remember? Do you and Erica not communicate together? She was in the office every day except for whatever day little Gigi's dance was. So, yeah, I mean, yes, we know she contradicts herself all the time. And her previous statement was that exactly what you just said, which is what I think is true, is that she actually did stay home and raise the kids, and little Gigi would watch the show with Erica, and Charlie would hold up the little stuffy. But you just maybe want to check in with your CEO to see what the narrative is supposed to be. You guys are, you're crossing streams here. You're getting your narrative control is getting mixed up.
And it's everywhere. Like, his picture's right here over my shoulder. And so it's just one of those things. It doesn't feel like a year has gone by. It feels like a blink. And I feel like I still miss him as much as I did the moment I found out he was gone.
Yeah.
Which wasn't that much. It wasn't that much.
And so it's hard because, you're expected to sort of like, and I'm a guy, like I if you tell me to cry and be emotive on command, I can't do it. I can't do it. And so I'm very good at sort of bifurcating my emotions and focusing on the task at hand.
You're compartmentalized.
Oh, you and Erica are the same. You guys compartmentalize. That's why we didn't see grieving. Is that why? So he realizes that there's some sort of issue here with the public's perception of, did Andrew Kolvet actually ever grieve Charlie Kirk's loss? Because it doesn't look like it, right? We know that he grieved the millions of dollars that he missed out on when Charlie turned down BB. Nah, you could keep the $115 million to take me to the next level. I'm good, bud. And Andrew's like, freaking, I wanted that money. So we know you were very, very grief-stricken over that. But yeah, we haven't seen much grief over the loss of Charlie Kirk from you and from Erica. Just saying what I noticed.
And yet,
really, if you think about it.
I have compartments of where my emotions go. And so that's,
what emotions?
I can't help that I'm like that, I guess, maybe, but yeah, it's like people don't see the tears in quiet or those moments
Nope.
where you just can't believe that and I think that's where I just land is I just can't believe he's gone. I still can't believe it. I still can't believe.
We can't either.
Yeah.
Just curious because we have like our little origin story of the chicks and how we met each other and we became best friends. How did you meet Charlie? How'd you meet him?
Yeah,
I'm going to play this, but I'm pulling something up and I don't want the audios to get mixed up. All right, hold on. I got to pull it up to right where we had left off, which was right about. Oh, yeah, I think it was right there. All right. Because don't forget. So I'm bringing this up just to remind everybody. This is 9/12, so this is 2 days after
designing it so Charlie would be here, and then he decided he liked it here better, so we flipped everything. And he had to have his Oregon Duck thing over there.
It was
grieving.
The original
he's grieving.
was a straight line.
Yeah, it was
right?
a straight. Well, this desk actually is modular, and so you can kind of fold it so that the two levels fold into one another, and it was just a desk, and it was supposed to be designed so that if you had guests, it could fold out. And
Right.
But he just liked it like this
Well, no,
all the time.
wasn't it? We did one of the.
You guys, he's grieving. Stop judging. Shame on you for noticing. Yeah, because I don't think I was this far back, was I? Yeah, I was right. Actually, I was right here.
I tweeted about this or posted about this last night on X. There was a video of a vigil that was sent to me, and I said, I've constantly had to recalibrate my internal clock because you kind
I
of
know exactly what you mean.
how famous Charlie is, and then like something else would kind of blow your mind and be like, whoa, he's actually way bigger. And Blake, I'm sure you had a bunch of those even in Seoul. You're like, whoa, people know him here. But yeah, I am realizing that as much as I tried to recalibrate, I'm probably 2 years behind, like actually how famous he was, like in my internal clock. And in his death, and Trump said this beautifully actually this morning on Fox. I don't know what clip it is. I'm sure we have it.
We'll play that.
Yeah, that he's even bigger. He was huge, and now he's
you don't say.
a worldwide icon. And
Before we get away off the topic, and I know there's a break. I want to piggyback on Tyler and just say thank you to the staff for being here today.
He wants to piggyback on Tyler. Yeah, I bet you do, Jack. But hey, this is a G-rated video show. No piggybacking on Tyler on camera. All right.
Met Charlie basically because I guess he was at some event. I was working in Hollywood. I was working with Mark Burnett, the producer of like The Voice and Celebrity Apprentice and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And we did the Bible series together. I helped launch.
This is also why this is important, guys. So if you're criticizing me for playing too many videos of these people, we find out truth as they lie. Okay. What they lie about shows us that there's something there to look into. And so as he's going to be telling us like when he met Charlie, how he met Charlie, and I know a lot about these guys. So we're going to be able to tell when he is not telling the truth. And it's important. It's important to document it and to keep them accountable and hold them accountable. And while Candace is on vacation, we need to be holding down the fort.
The Bible series, and I helped launch 80 The Bible Continues, and I was working on Ben-Hur, and then kind of we left and we started a PR company. And because there was a big need, it felt need in those times because Mark was very successful, and there was a bunch of people in the faith and nonprofit space that wanted PR. So I never had wanted to do PR at all, but I also thought it could be a cool part-time job while I wrote screenplays. That was my grand plan. And before I knew it, the PR gig just became more than full-time, and it really took off. And the guy who owned that company basically ran into Charlie in South Florida at an event. And then
why didn't he name the name? How come he didn't name the name? And I wonder the timeline of when Candace found out about the donor, because it was down in Florida, remember? And Candace questioned Charlie about it in an elevator. And Charlie lied. And so they had a small kind of falling out temporarily. But I wonder if that's connected to Andrew Kolvet's entrance to the scene.
He sent me a note. He said, "Hey, I met this guy Charlie Kirk. You should follow up with him. He seems like a mover and a shaker. Like he's going places. Somebody that we should probably work with." And I had not heard of him at that point, and I said, "Okay, I'll check him out." So I did. I checked him out, and I was like, "Okay, a little rough around the edges. Like his suits don't fit quite right, you know."
By the way, did he say Mark Brunell? Do you guys know, what did he say? Did he say Mark Brunell? I'm trying to look it up. The guy's name that was in Hollywood that he worked for. Was it Brunette? I don't know. Maybe you guys can help me because I want to look it up.
But maybe this would be a good fit. And I was somebody that I was a devout Christian, still am. You know, my faith's really important to me, and I was a part of a church plant at the time, and you know, I was kind of working with like this faith-based stuff. I never intended to do that, and I found myself kind of more gravitating to the politics side of stuff. So one of our clients at the time was PragerU, and the team there, they were in LA. I was in LA, so it was kind of fun. I got to actually go into their office and hang out with them. And then I started working with the Blaze and the guys over there, and really enjoyed it, and had some good stories good success.
Deeply connected to that ecosystem. Before joining Turning Point USA, Andrew Kolvet worked for the Kairos. How do you say that? The Kairos company. Hold on. I'm doing this like on the fly. Right? No. That's not the word. It is this word. Here, I'm looking it up real quick. Hold on. All right, so let me finish reading, though. For the Kairos Company, a PR strategic communication firm. He helped launch the firm alongside Johnny Moore. That's another name I need to remember. I forget some of these names, but yep, Johnny Moore. Shady. Remember, we need to remember Johnny Moore. We have Mark Burnett, Andrew Kolvet. Okay, Johnny Moore, who had previously served as Mark Burnett's chief of staff at the Kairos Company. Kolvet worked as the vice president of communications because TPUSA was one of the firm's PR clients. Kolvet heavily managed their public image from the outside before fully transitioning into the organization in early 2019. Career timeline and summary: Mark Burnett, United Artists Media Group, MGM. The Kairos Company served as vice president of communications to help build the PR startup with Johnny Moore. And then Turning Point USA, he transitioned from managing TPUSA as an external PR client to becoming its permanent inside spokesperson and executive producer. Yep.
Stories that we could share. And then I started just kind of emailing Charlie saying like, hey, I think we could help you. I think we could help you. And he kind of ghosted me at first. And then I think some kind of bad press hit, which was very common in those early days for Charlie. And he finally kind of threw up his hands and said, okay, I'm going to consult some other people. And so he was traveling through LA.
It is my position and belief that whatever that, negative press thing that he was dealing with, Charlie, I think that was manufactured. And I was speaking with someone on the phone this morning that this is a way that people like these individuals, they find ways to get people inside of your circle, your organization, your company, to be a snake in the grass, right? They create some sort of crisis. Well, in this specific situation, there's other situations, but they heavily manufacture something, and then they have someone that was either previously already introduced, has the connection somehow, or then is introduced and is like, oh, look who it is. This person will make all your problems go away. Just hire the devil himself, in my opinion.
And said, hey, let's meet for dinner. And we did, and hit it off really, really quickly. And that was kind of the early days. And eventually, about a year in, he basically said, I don't necessarily like that you have other clients, and so I'm either going to fire you or you can set up shop on your own. I'll be your first client, and I want more of your time. So I said, okay. You know, I
I
talked
love
about,
it.
and actually, it's
That's
funny. I
weird.
talked about it with my wife because at that point, I still wasn't really like fully. I don't know. I still had this aspiration in the back of my head of being like a screenwriter, producer, or something like that. I'm so glad that didn't work out. It's a terrible industry to get into,
And you
and
suck.
so my wife was like, and she's very prayerful. She's great intuition. I believe she hears from the Lord, and she came to me. She goes, "I think this is a no brainer. This is totally the Lord. Like you need to say yes to this. This is totally the Lord." And I knew that once I did that, I was kind of burning my boats in Hollywood, right? You kind of work directly with somebody like Charlie, and I mean, it was already kind of the cat was out of the bag with Prager, the Blaze, but I could kind of claim third party connection to them, but not anymore. So it was an important choice for me, just kind of say, hey, I'm going all in, I'm burning the boats, and I don't care if that has consequences elsewhere. And so that was kind of how it worked. And so I set up shop, set up my own company, and Charlie was my first client of that company. And I had a few others, but Charlie definitely, if you've ever been around Charlie, he had a way of occupying all of your time. And he was constantly moving, constantly onto the next thing, constantly the new event, constantly the new challenge, the new initiative. And so we sat down, and he said during that conversation, I'll never forget. It's actually a funny anecdote of Charlie, because in those days, Charlie was still like, I think he had like 400,000 Twitter followers. It was just big, but not 6 million,
more than
like he would eventually have. So, he said, I want you to set up shop. I will be your first client. And I want to start a podcast with you. Because he knew that I kind of had production background and things like that.
And
he goes, I'm really smart. I can do this. I really can. And at that point, it was like Ben Shapiro was the top dog. And he was like, I can do what Ben does. I can do it. And I was like, I believe you, Charlie. I believe you. So let's get going. And so it took us about a year because there was just too much stuff going on. But then we eventually signed with a group called Podcast One out of Beverly Hills, which the owner of that, the founder of that, had started Westwood One. And so I thought it was a good fit. And off to the races we were doing one podcast a week. And then eventually that kind of took us into COVID, and Charlie was like, I want to do more content, because he was sitting around. He couldn't do campus tours, couldn't do any of these events, especially at first. And so we ended up going to 3 podcasts a week, and then quickly, it all happened very quickly. And then he was like, well, I want to do 5 a week. And then I want to just do 10 a week. I mean, the guy just had this endless energy. And I'm talking about the transition from 1 to 10 a week happened within about 2 weeks. Like him like ramping up. And so, then BLM happened, and it was like, it was this spark. Our numbers were good, but they weren't like rocket ship good. And then we started releasing all this content. And then I'll never forget, Charlie did this selfie video, just so mad at the black squares. And it was like our numbers quadrupled overnight. He just raged against it. He's like, you people, you posted the black squares. You're going to be the first one to call the police if something goes wrong, and you're demonizing it. And he was just so ticked off and so agitated by it. And next thing we know, so that was, May 2025 during COVID. And by October 1st.
Wait, May 2025 during COVID? That wasn't happening in 2025. Did I miss something? It was like 19 to what? Like 22? When did it like officially like stop being shoved down our throats?
Of 2020. Sorry, I said 2025. I meant 2020.
Oh,
by
All
October,
right.
we had taken the podcast to broadcast and signed a radio deal. And then by, I think, June of 2022, we started simulcasting on Real America's Voice after Steve Bannon. And, the show just grew leaps and leaps and bounds. And Charlie just became such a good broadcaster, such a good communicator. It really did help the way that he communicated on stage in those debates. He really had hours and hours to hone his communication style and his ideas. It really forced him to think deeper. And, it was a joy and the honor of a lifetime to be able to watch him grow like that.
Did you
Amazing.
watch him as he developed his relationship with Erica? Were you around for when they began their relationship? And how did it change him? Like, what were you able to see just being around him every day?
Yeah, so Charlie drove me up a wall when I first started working with him, like completely.
Oh.
He would call you at like odd hours. He would, it was like there was never any downtime. I mean, that's kind of why his final book, Stop in the Name of God, was so important.
Charlie used to bug him. Charlie used to drive him up the wall. Okay. We're taking notes.
To him because he was the chief beneficiary of learning some structure and some boundaries on his life. And man, it used to drive my wife crazy. Like we can never have family time and all this stuff.
Really?
And,
Charlie's fault.
So I actually, the first time I met Erica was actually at Politicon. I think it was 2018. But it could have been 2019. I can't remember.
2018.
It
was 2018.
But it was that during that famous interaction where Charlie gets into it with Cenk from the Young Turks.
No, he's not the one that introduced Erica and Charlie Kirk. Tyler Boyer introduced them. Okay. No, Andrew's not getting divorced. That's another story that somebody I'm not even going to mention ran with. It's not true. He's not getting divorced, and Andrew did not introduce Charlie and Erica. Tyler Boyer did.
And he's
Chunky
debating
yogurt,
Hassan
we
Piker,
call
and
him.
those clips have
Yeah.
now gone viral again because we're still debating the same things apparently.
Yep.
But so I remember. So I walk up. It was in Los Angeles. It was Politicon, and Charlie's got this blonde gal next to him, and I'm like, who is she? Like, why is she here? And Charlie was just like, oh.
That's interesting. This is what is so important. We can learn so much by analyzing their words, their behavior, nonverbal communication. So he clearly had Andrew felt like part of his job was to handle Charlie, to control Charlie. Okay. He was not happy that Charlie had brought someone to this Politicon event without telling Andrew. Andrew's like, he showed up with some blonde and he was like, who is she? What is she doing here? Why is she with you? Why would someone feel like they have that kind of license over Charlie's life, who's an adult grown man? I get it. He's a head figure of the organization. Yes. And Andrew does PR. Okay. But like Charlie has to pass things by Andrew. Clearly, there were these things set up in Charlie's life because this seems like it was out of the norm. Andrew Kolvet was surprised that he did not know, he was not told, and he didn't have a say in whether or not she got to come. And Charlie's life was heavily managed, heavily handled, heavily controlled by everyone around him. And then when Erica comes into the picture, it just ramps up to a whole nother level of control. Because now it's his wife, mother of his kids.
She's a friend. I was like, oh, okay. Interesting. And then, Politicon happens. He gets up out of his seat. He hated that clip, by the way, because, it was very unlike Charlie, actually, when you know the totality of who Charlie is and how he comported himself. But he's like, I live like a capitalist every day. And, he's walking out of Politicon and everybody's like, Charlie, Charlie, the chants. It was the first time I heard the Charlie chant. And we walk out and I remember my hands were all sweaty going like, how am I going to spin this? This is pretty, because at that time.
How am I going to spin this? I knew this was going to be a good show to watch, ladies and gentlemen. The moment I started listening, I was like, his guard is down. He's not streaming this to his platform. This is on their show, which in my opinion, don't get a lot of views. And it's only to their community. They're largely unknown to the outside world, except for those in Gary Melton's circle and TPUSA's circle, which there's only about 50 to 75 people that tune in each day to watch Turning Point USA's Real America's Voice show. Their numbers are just tragic for what they've done to Charlie's different channels and platforms. So his guard is down. He is letting, the mask, he's taking the mask off. We're getting to get a peek behind the curtain as to some of the things Andrew really thinks and feels. And we can hear what his take is on things. And I think it's important.
And Charlie was this young upstart whippersnapper that all the establishment and the conservative media hated. And they loved to write negative stories about him. And I was like, this is only going to make my job harder. This is great. Okay. And so my hands are sweating. the kids are shouting Charlie, and then there's Erica, like, calm as a cucumber, just kind of like smiling, and I didn't know, exactly what she was doing there, but eventually I learned, and I would just say Erica changed him for the better in so many ways. He got instantly way cooler. He like, like
women
like
do that.
she helped him on the cool factor. It was so one of the like.
There's this narrative again, you guys, that Erica came in and like literally, remember from this show, this is one of the main contributing factors that Erica played in Charlie's life. They were trying to recount, like they're saying, like Erica made Charlie better. Erica came in the picture and just made Charlie who he was by the time we, like, the larger public began to know Charlie, because pre-2021, I mean, he was well known within Christian conservative Republican, circles, but outside of that, largely not like massive yet, right? But 2000, well, actually, I'll go back 2019 and then on is when he really started to blow up, right? Publicly for the public. And they're trying to say that like a large part of that is, due to Erica. But then when they go into details of how she actually like helped Charlie, all they could recount is surface level, like surface things like, oh, he was a dork and he didn't dress cool. And Erica loves style. And she's so great at that. She just reshaped Charlie into the version that she thought he should be. And that's what she's credited for, is his wardrobe.
Underappreciated, like cooler aspects of Charlie as he aged and kind of like found his cool factor. If you notice that, like when he would go to campus, like in the 2023, 2024, 2025, he'd come out in like athleisure wear, like sweats, tennis shoes, t-shirt.
Yeah.
And, he had his Majesty tea to keep his voice and his, his lozenges and all that stuff. And it was like, he just looked cool. Like, I don't know. He's
swagger.
Just he had swag. He had some serious swag. And I remember like, that was all Erica. Like Erica, helped him, like something about, and I think for married men in general, and I had the same experience, when you have the love of a good woman in your life, like all those weird male insecurities of adolescent years and, the early 20s, they kind of fade away because you have this person in your life that loves you for you and actually just really adores who you are. And that, like the healing effect for a young man that experiences that kind of unconditional love is really profound. And I just saw that it's just calming effect. And then she helped him grow closer in his faith with Jesus. And that was so.
Give me a break. Erica Kirk's faith was stronger than Charlie's, and she helped him grow closer in his relationship with the Lord. I mean, I think for some men, right? Like I said yesterday, when you get married, sorry, I just messed up my contact when I tried to wipe my face. When you get married, for some men, you, especially as a young man, you like realize that, well, things just got a lot more serious. You have to think about everything you say and do in your time. You're not just responsible for yourself anymore. You're responsible for this, precious woman, right? And then when you have kids, it's like a whole nother level. And so I think for men that are already Christian, when you get married and you have children, it deepens your faith, right? You have this new appreciation for how God loves you, right? And how God loves the church, right? His bride. These symbols in scripture become real as you experience it in your own life, as you understand the love you have for your bride, right? And then you have children and you understand the love, right, that God has for all of us. And it does deepen your faith tremendously. It did for me. So I don't think that's because Erica was just some amazing Christian.
A parent, because she's a very serious Christian, and she's like, I hate to say it because people will just mock you for it, but like Erica Kirk is literally like an angel.
We say this
and everybody around here will tell you.
time. We are all.
Erica Kirk is literally like an angel. What? Twilight Zone. You have now entered the Twilight Zone. Where did we wake up this morning? Where are we?
Always
We do
like,
say
I know,
that.
but
He's
it's
so
like it gets
good.
mocked because it's like, angel demon comparison. I'm not trying to do that. She just is literally one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. She's
Mhm.
caring. She's thoughtful. She puts you before herself. She's always worried about you. And Charlie was the same way. Charlie used to always, when we would get, there would be tough travel situations or like logistics, tough on the family. He would, I don't know how he did this, but he would always kind of reach out and be like, hey, we can put you up at this hotel, or we can get you somebody to come pick you up. Or, one time I was really sick. I was down in Phoenix just for work because I didn't live in Phoenix before Charlie was killed. I moved my family here after the fact. But
See, this is important. He divulges information. This is so important for us to do. Other people said I didn't know what I was talking about when I said, no. Andrew doesn't live in Santa Barbara anymore. No. See, like I research, I know a lot about this whole thing, and I'm like on X or I'm somewhere talking with people and they're like, no, he doesn't. He lives in Santa Barbara. No, after Charlie was murdered, he sold his home and moved to Arizona. Okay. And also now he's partially in DC 50% of the time. So it's important to watch and listen to these people. They divulge things in certain settings and podcasts and interviews that we've never heard before. This one I've heard before, but there's other things. And that's why it's important to tune into these guys when they're doing all this. Hey, you guys, do me a favor. Please hit the like and subscribe. It's the best way to help support me. And we have 181 likes and we have 394 people. So we're about halfway there. Please hit the like for me. All right. Thank you. Let's get back.
I was stuck alone in a hotel, and I don't know if I had COVID or something, but I was like dying. And we had a big day the next day, and Charlie called a local friend that does those mobile IV clinics and stuff. And the guy comes in the middle of I don't know, it was 11:30 or something. Comes in, I'm literally dying in a hotel room, and he gives me the IV, and Charlie's like, I was like, how much do I owe him? Charlie's like, I took care of it, don't worry about it. That was the way that Charlie was. That's the way Erica is.
No.
And it's one of the tragedies that of the aftermath is that Erica has been so maligned.
Oh my
and
gosh.
It makes us
because
rage. It just
legitimately
makes us
she is the
rage.
nicest person you will ever meet.
Yeah.
And so anyway, she changed him for the better in so many different ways. It's and then when they had kids, it just took it to the next level. And Charlie used to always say, they're my why, that this is why I do it. And I thought that was a really apt way to describe.
What's your why, Andrew? You have kids. Is your why the Benjamins? is your why Benjamin? Benjamin Netanyahu and the Benjamins? Right? Is that why you got so mad when Charlie turned down the money? What's your why?
Yeah, I mean, I think the way that Eric has been treated it's horrendous. It's that we talk about that a lot. We also talk about how, when it happened, I feel like the only silver lining was that so many kids, my daughter is 16 and she already is a Christian, but she's like, Mom, a lot of my friends are asking about Turning Point, and college kids were asking about Turning. So a lot of kids were turning to Christ during that time, which was the only.
Still are.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask you. How is membership? Is it still
I have a
on
1
that
year
upward?
document we're working on right now. I can read you some of by the numbers.
I would love that, because I feel like the death of
we're getting that question a lot
TPUSA
right now.
is being very over exaggerated by some people right now.
Right.
So
We're sick of hearing that.
The stories of our demise have been
Right.
greatly exaggerated.
Exactly.
There you go. Right.
No. I mean, it's all growing. So I can put your minds at ease in that way.
Really?
I mean, we just had our chapter leadership summit, and we had for those who don't know, these are our top leaders that come once a year for something we call CLS, Chapter Leadership Summit.
Students.
And I think our last year one, before when Charlie was still with us, was I think 1,000, 1,200, something like that, students from across the country. And not all of them can make it, obviously, because you might have top students that can't come in. So, but it's still a really strong number to have your top Green Berets come, or have over 1,000 of them. We had 2,500, over 2,500.
So he doesn't mean actual Green Berets. He's given an analogy, like Green Berets that are up there as special forces within, the military, the larger military, ecosystem with the different branches. They're one of them. And he's comparing the chapter leaders, which are students, adults, but they're the ones that run the chapters at the different colleges. They're the ones that come to this event. And now he's going to tote out some statistic that number grew exponentially after Charlie's assassination, which, yes, I know that it did. There also was a mass exodus from TPUSA as well, though, because people that were there before the assassination, like, had a connection with Charlie, believed in Charlie, knew what Charlie was saying and doing publicly, and they were completely signed up and on board. And so they were expecting that TPUSA was going to continue to do those things. They had no reason to doubt that Erica Kirk and everyone there was going to somehow just start changing the script. But they did. And people had questions about the Tyler Robinson investigation and the official narrative, and these people either A, got fired, or B, they quit. And so there was a huge mass hiring and an influx of new individuals that applied or volunteer for TPUSA. A lot of them were, lukewarm Christians that rededicated their life, or brand new Christians, some people that used to be, on the left and Democrat and they liberal, and they came over. A lot of these people would not have known all of this context around the last year, 2 years of Charlie's life, and really how that escalated in the last 6 months of his life. And so sadly, yeah, the numbers probably have increased, but I can show you on their channel, and then I can just compare it to mine, which is a very small channel compared to theirs. And keep in mind, so let me pull something up. So keep in mind that Charlie became really recognized for his campus debates publicly, like the left and the right, like the world at large. These clips would go viral of him debating students, typically leftists. The clips of him having interactions with Christian conservative students didn't really go viral. There was no conflict there. So it was really the clips of Charlie going back and forth with these liberal students. Those went viral, okay? And in the beginning, like, not a lot of people showed up to those events, right? It was only really in the last year or two where those events became, like, just really popular and a lot more people started to come. The events that Charlie would put on and that TPUSA would put on, mainly it was for politically active people. Like, it's mainly a political organization. And even though Charlie Kirk had, now it's Andrew and Erica, have the for-profit Charlie Kirk show, okay? And they have TPUSA, Turning Point Action, and then they have all these other affiliates. Mainly, Charlie and the organization was about communicating Christian, somewhat libertarian, somewhat isolationist, definitely pro-America, America First, MAGA, ideals and values, like Christian, conservative, Orthodox values, okay? And then, and mainly a huge portion of it was political. So the people that would go to these events, right, and that would watch his show were people that were already on his team, right, and from that camp, right? And so his show used to do amazing numbers. And let me just pull up what, so right now he has, well, not he, but they have 321,000 subscribers. They used to have a lot more. All right. And then if we just scroll down to the most recent episode that they did, okay.
Tell you about them. They're amazing.
This was how many days ago? This was August 21st, yesterday. 995 views. All right. And then let's go down to the comments. One comment. That's all there is. There's nothing else. Steve Deese is such a boomer. Doesn't even have anything to do with it. And 61 likes. All right. Now let's look at a video I did, and just keep this in mind. So I only have I love that I have this many. I'm not taking it for granted, but compared to 321,000, I have 34,000 subscribers, right? And let's go down to the most recent video from yesterday. All right. And what you'll see is 1,000 likes. All right. And then you'll see it was streamed 18 hours ago. Theirs was streamed even earlier in the day. Okay. And this video is at 10,469 views. So just keep that in mind when understanding what they've done to Charlie Kirk's different platforms. People, the public has spoken. They realize that you guys don't have anything valuable to say. We tune in to find out lies, disinformation, more information about the PSYOP. Like, we are watching you. People tune in for the dumpster fire and for intel. Against, not for. Okay. So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was actually probably closer to 2,600.
And was that
they
college?
They all
Was
came,
that college and
high school?
Okay.
Yeah, college and high school, but mostly college just because of the travel. Because if you're in high school,
Right.
parents want to come. It's a little harder for them. But still, I mean, just an amazing showing for, again, this is not all our students. These are just the leaders of the chapters.
Yeah.
So 2,500 of them, we sat them all down, did like round tables with them, and they are all just like the best kids. I mean, these kids will give you hope for the future like you wouldn't believe. And,
that's what you guys should be doing, is giving everyone hope for the future. That's what Charlie did. It's not happening anymore. Jim Carey, what up, dude? TPUSA is tanking. Spot on. Yes, he is. Yes, they are. Oh, observation. You're a boomer? Or observant fox. Observant fox. You're a boomer? Well, we love boomers. It's okay. You can hang out with us, okay? Whoever left that comment, I don't know. I don't know who they are. Not on my channel. That was on their channel.
Some are serious Christians and they love America, and they're not dooming. They're working on being part of the solution. So anyways, so we have over 3,500 Club America chapters. That's our high school chapters, which is up 180% from the previous year.
Fantastic.
That's fantastic. And by the way, the high schools, people are asking me, what's it like on the college level now? And I'm like, well, actually the colleges are pretty much all, like, they fought us for years, but now they're kind of like letting us start chapters. So there's not a whole lot of sort of institutional.
So now they're moving down. Now they want to infiltrate high schools. Then it's going to be elementary schools. Then it's going to be preschools. And they, like, literally, I'm not even kidding, you guys. Erica Kirk has even stated this. She stated this at the recent, I think it's a chapter leadership summit, where they want to have something. TPUSA wants to reach someone at every stage of development, something from the cradle to the grave, and they want to get to you. Okay. It's crazy.
Resistance on the college level, you'd be surprised. It's mostly like the Christian schools, quote unquote Christian schools, that give us the problem. Yeah.
Really?
Believe it or not. And that includes Catholic schools.
Really?
But even now the Ivies are letting us form chapters. They didn't let us do that for a long time. So credit where it's due. It's the high schools though that tend to be the most problematic, which is crazy.
Wow.
Like, I mean, the number of like straight up radical DSA communist types that run these high schools would shock you. But we're still over 3,500, which is massive. I think we had just over 1,000 when Charlie died, and so to be at 3,500, people don't understand the amount of work it takes to start a chapter. You got to get staff involved. You got to get administrators to sign off on it and bless it. You've got to get like a faculty member, like a teacher or something like that, to sponsor it, and then you have to have a core group of kids. You got to go through the paperwork. So this is a long process. So it's 3,500 and counting.
Amazing.
To put it in perspective, Charlie's own alma mater took us like 3 years to get RSO status.
Wow.
For high school.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
It can be really, really challenging. So so some of these, there's a ton of these in process, but just put it 3,500 plus, up 180%. 1,500 college chapters now, up 64%. We had about, I think, like 900 before Charlie was killed. And so to have 1,500, and we used to say, if you get to 1,000, then you're pretty much, you're topped off, because, you got commuter schools. It's hard to form around. You got, the schools just aren't well positioned to form a core group of students to start a group. But we're at 1,500, which is amazing. So that's incredible. Here's a great stat. Over 1 million students involved now.
Wow.
Over 1 million students involved.
That's incredible.
I just love hearing it. Yeah, that does give me hope for humanity.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really, really special. And then we have 12,000 churches and pastors have joined our TPOSA Faith Network.
Yeah, we
were at like 4,000-ish before Charlie was killed. Now we're at 12,000.
So he's doing the rounds, you guys. I just saw, hold on. We're not going to watch this right now, but maybe we can tune into it after we finish with what we're doing. But let's see where Andrew Kolvet pops on. Yeah, he goes on Bill O'Reilly. Okay, so we can check this out in a bit. So Andrew's making the rounds, right? So he's got to make sure that, and this is the PR strategy, right? So to get Candace Owens to debate Andrew Wilson, and then they're trying to deal with the fallout, which was honestly that Andrew Wilson lost on all accounts. And now they're coming out with the different narratives about, you know, Candace Owens's motives and, oh, that she lied, she broke the contract, she lost. And now they're trying to, you know, say like they won. And so they're all out here going on different shows and pushing the narrative. And yeah, we'll check that out later.
So that's amazing. More than 2,500 attended our chapter leadership summit, more than twice the 2024 attendance. And by the way, 2/3 of those summit attendees became involved with Turning Point after Charlie's death.
What a tribute to his legacy.
We have,
I mean, that's
totally.
I'm so angry anytime I hear that you guys are going down, TPOSA is finished. I mean, it's all so enraging. And I know I mentioned to you before we started recording off air how much we have loved when you have responded to some of Candace's attacks and you've gone after her on X, and we've loved that. I'm just wondering from a PR standpoint, because that is obviously your background and your job, what, like at the beginning when it all started to happen, and you guys, I thought you were taking kind of the high road when this all started to get sort of crazy, and it made us crazy because we were like, you need to fight back. We were thinking and we were fighting back for you, and we were like,
oh, you have no idea how many times I heard that.
I know, right?
You have no idea.
I'm curious about, because now, you know, sometimes you pipe in. I know Blake pipes in a lot. Do you have regrets about taking the high road for so long? Do you wish you would have sort of responded earlier? Would it have made a difference?
Is there a giant strategy here that we're just unaware of?
Yeah, tell us.
Well, if there is a giant strategy, then I really can't reveal it to you right now, unfortunately.
Not on our show? Come on.
Look at that. This is why we're doing research. We're gathering intel right now, that there is a giant strategy of what they have been doing, why they've been doing it, and he's not going to reveal it. That's for sure. Yeah,
Andrew.
Yeah.
We don't want to ruin any
I will say
strategies,
this,
though.
I'm kidding.
There was I mean, listen, at the beginning, you know, you're grieving, first of all.
Right.
You're adapting to a completely different reality than you had just weeks or months before.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, you don't want to dignify the absurdity either, right? And so I think that factored in. I would also say that Charlie was not one to get involved in the mud with the pigs, right? He really wasn't. I can count on one hand how many times he addressed public criticism on X. He usually took the perspective that you fly above it, that you be louder than the haters, and you do good work, right?
Yes.
I mean, eventually it became very apparent that this thing had grown and metastasized to a point where, you know, and by the way, you're seeing it with the Lindsay Clancy case right now, where there is this just kind of, I don't know what
they keep trying to say that we're connected. They keep wanting to say that the crazy left that mocked and made fun of Charlie's assassination, Act Blue, the UNF America Tour, Hassan Piker are in league with Candace Owens and all of us, and that her community and their community and everyone that's defending the Lancy lady are the same. And that's not true. I was on X Spaces and talking with people like, none of us that are involved in this investigation and that are interested in getting the truth to the public are at the same. We're not double dipping. We're not in the Clancy thing. Everyone like didn't even know anything about it. But they're wanting to connect us and pair us with the left and with Act Blue and UNF America and Hassan Piker and everyone that's defending the Clancy mom for the crazy thing, horrible, horrific, evil thing that she did. And no.
Percentage of the internet it is, but it's you got the true crime brain, the therapy brain, the TikTok brain,
right?
And it tends to affect young women. It doesn't mean it's exclusively young women, but it does tend to get kind of the women to the mom. I guess we'd call them wine mom age or something.
Yeah.
So you hear that, you guys. Andrew Wilson thinks all women are retarded, and Andrew Kolvet thinks the problem with everything going on online is women's fault. There you go. Andrew Kolvet.
I don't know what it is, but it seems to be highly susceptible, right? Like, it kind of reminds me of COVID, where they were like, well, if you're over a certain age and over a certain weight, you're prone to getting infected with the virus. It's like the mind virus, whatever this thing is, it just seems to impact a certain subset. So, yeah, I mean, all of those things came into play, but ultimately, I just couldn't remain quiet anymore when I saw that Sean Ryan interview.
Yeah,
actually.
Oh,
I mean, the first time I kind of piped in was with this. I think there was a suggestion that Candace never said that Erica killed her husband, and I happened to be in possession of a text exchange between her and a former employee of mine that was very like, my first question for her is going to be, why'd you murder your husband? And
no, that's not what Candace said. Okay. Candace has never even alleged that Erica murdered Charlie Kirk. It's that we're suspicious of what her and all of your involvement would be, because it seems like you're lying and you're covering things up, and you lied about everything regarding Iran and Israel and Bibi and the donors and all of that. Like, why would you lie about all of that? Gross. And hold on, I got to pull up another video, and I don't want it to mess up the volume. All right, cool. Andrew's just lying, and he's just making stuff up, just straight up lying and making stuff up. Candace never said that in a text. Show it, Andrew. Proof. You talk about evidence. Show us the proof.
So I just couldn't resist. So I chimed in there, but then I was kind of quiet. But
no, you were not.
The other thing is that we have a lot of work to do on a daily basis that really does keep us occupied. But then I saw this Sean Ryan interview where my name was invoked, like, I don't know how many times, like over 10 times.
It's constant.
And the whole time, it was enraged.
Right, you guys, I saw that text. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, though, is that Candace never said that, like, honestly, and like meant it, right? It was said in jest at a time, but she's never actually made that claim. Okay, she's never made the claim about Erica murdering Charlie.
To me, actually, was like, she would say my name, and then Sean Ryan would just sit back and go, Are you effing kidding me? No way.
Oh
like,
God,
he just had these like one-word responses.
We make fun of him all the time, Andrew. Yeah.
No, it was just
okay.
Kidding me?
No shit.
No effing
That was
way.
his big
And I was just like,
yeah, that's exactly what he says.
exactly.
All the time.
And I just was, I couldn't stand it anymore. So I really wasn't like, I wish I could say it was like premeditated, or it was like my chiming in there was some part of some grand plan. If anything, it was the reversal of a grand plan. But I just had to set the record straight, because my name was being invoked to perpetuate false allegations against Charlie, against the organization, and these conspiracy theories that Israel was somehow involved. And listen, like, from my perspective, at the beginning, I was willing to look into all of that in a very serious way. I mean, this is why the group texts, my ever-loving shame, exists, because I wanted it looked into. I wanted to look at everything. And it's so funny, because like, nobody on that side gives me any credit for that, which, because it doesn't suit their narrative. But I was willing to look at everything. And I've become convinced that it was disinformation, that there was, foreign nudging that was trying to propel that forward. And then just a lot of idiocy.
So he wants to sell this narrative that personally, Andrew Kolvet was just so like in pursuit of the truth regarding the assassination, that he was wanting to look under every rock, leave no stone unturned, right? And that's why every time that they like talk about themselves, it's always in like this just tremendously dishonest way. Like they could never be involved in hiding anything and lying. We heard that from Frank Turek last night. Every time that they say something that's not true, he's like, not every, what did he say? Not every falsity is a lie. Okay. And Andrew Wilson said it too, like, we're not being charitable enough with them. We need to be more charitable with them. Okay. But every lie is a falsity. Okay. And if we notice that you guys constantly lie about things, and Erica has too. So at what point do we get to be like, you're lying? And you guys ever once be like, you got me. You got me. I lied. We lied. She lied. Never. They've never responded to any of the times that we've pointed out that they are lying and be like, you got me. It's always spun in a way like, and even Andrew Wilson said it. Couldn't she just have been wrong? Talking about the text, how Erica Kirk lied on Glenn Beck and said, he wasn't texting anyone saying he was afraid of anyone, he was afraid they were going to kill him. And I have his phone. And that didn't happen. And she literally said that there was no iMessages, no other messages, period. And then it comes out, oh, it's actually a Signal message, supposedly. And they spin that as if like, oh, she didn't lie. Andrew Wilson's like, she didn't lie. She just didn't know. And it's like, okay, bro, like we have thousands of these examples though. Like there's like thousands when you stack all them up with like Gary Melton, Graham Allen, Jack Posobiec, Benny Johnson, Brandon Tatum, Andrew Kolvet, Erica Kirk, Blake Neff, Mikey McCoy, Tyler Boyer, all of them. We have thousands of examples of them lying. Not once have they ever been like busted. It's always spun. Oh, we were just wrong. Oh, Rob McCoy didn't actually lie about Mikey having blood on him. He misremembered. He misspoke. Like they'll never be honest with us, you guys. And so that couldn't be more clear. Like every single time we catch them in an actual lie and we show it, it's a lie. Nope, we just made a mistake. Nope, he just misspoke. We misremembered. Frank Turek, I didn't know that there was a walkway out above there. I didn't know that there was going to be an excuse for me to say that someone was up there with a phone. So I just thought when I was looking at this video with Charlie and Mikey and Dan as we drove in, I just assumed it was a drone. I had no idea there was a Hall of Flags there. How could I have lied? I didn't know that existed. Frank, your statement was after the assassination, meaning after you had attended, meaning after you had been there. So you knew about the Hall of Flags walkway when you made the statement. And yet you still never brought up that it potentially was someone with a phone. Okay. And you lied. Okay. There was drones there that day. It's been publicly admitted that the media team had drones. The security team was denied, but the media team, who Mikey McCoy is the head of, had drones and was filming preceding the event, getting B-roll footage and flying around trying to get just B-roll footage. And that's the footage you guys saw in the car. It was a drone. Oh no, I wasn't lying. I just misspoke. Oh, Brian Harpole and I didn't lie about what happened in the SUV. Brian just, when he was packing the wound and holding it, he must have closed his eyes and took a nap. He must have looked out the window as he's holding Charlie's neck and was just looking at the beautiful scenery, because Brian Harpole just didn't see me in the last 20 to 30 seconds when I got up there and pushed Rick Cutler and Brian Harpole out of the way and started doing chest compressions mouth to mouth. I didn't lie. Brian Harpole didn't lie. He just didn't see. This is the dishonesty they're engaged in.
And a lot of Jew hate that's going around. So, but whatever. Like, I was willing to look into it because, I remember when he sent that text, I was like, you shouldn't probably send that kind of text, in public. And I didn't get a chance to address it with him because he ended up being killed tragically. So, but like the point is, I just couldn't sit back anymore. And
This is what I mean. This is so great. We're listening to this. Yeah, it's still not public. Sending a text, it's private. It's 1-to-1. Number two, yeah, you didn't get to address it because he was murdered the next day. And clearly you were aware ahead of time of who was threatening and pressuring Charlie Kirk. And I don't know why you would have sent it off, because obviously you're engaged in a narrative control here and like a psyop and lies and misinformation, in my opinion. And so I don't know, maybe you sent it as a way so that you could do this later down the line and be like, see, I am invested in the truth and justice. I just want the truth. I'm the one that sent this off to Joe Kent.
I know a lot of stuff that I haven't said publicly that wouldn't be nice for certain people to hear. And so it's kind of one of those things, you eventually just kind of have to push back. I'm glad I did. I don't regret a single word.
Good.
And it makes me happy to know that you enjoyed the response.
Oh my gosh.
We did.
You have no idea.
We really enjoyed.
I mean, we were just absolutely cheering for them, because I think there are a lot of folks out here with podcasts. I know, you know, Paramount Tactical. There's all kinds of folks out here who are almost every day reacting in real time to the just nonsense that Candace spews on a daily basis.
The lunacy. Absolutely.
And
lunacy.
then, so when you guys pipe in, we're like, yes. I mean, it's such validation that the things that we're saying are the truth, and that we're pushing back on all of the lies. And so that, of course, leads us to the great debate. And how do you feel like that went?
Yeah.
Look at their faces, man. Like, these women, I just don't know these women.
I mean, it's funny because Candace likes to say that, he was our chosen horse or something like
you
this.
Said
like
that.
No, like Andrew Wilson, I like him. I like anybody that is fighting for like sanity and evidence and proof and reason and logic.
Like some.
But he, I
Erica Kirk's retarded, but he likes Andrew Wilson. Okay. Yeah. And even by your own attempts to misrepresent the relationship, the personal and professional relationship that you and TPUSA has with Andrew Wilson, it is so obvious to anyone with one brain cell that this all, if you look at the timeline, when Andrew Wilson debated Zach Costello is when he threw his hat in the ring. And that's the time in June 2026. Yeah, no, it might have been, what was it, May? When he debated. I think he maybe debated. I'd have to look back at when he debated, but that the time that Andrew came down to teach the next crop of debaters is when Andrew Wilson really became a very vocal online, that we're all crazy, that Tyler killed Charlie Kirk, and he became this defender of TPUSA, which, by the way, I have a clip of, let's check it out real quick. I didn't get to pre-watch it, so I don't even know, but Zach Costello posted it, so it's got to be good. So let's listen to it.
But I do have many questions here, and I've been pretty vocal about them. Where's the rifle?
Did they find it? I thought they found it.
They found it, yeah, but here's the interesting part. They didn't find it on the roof. They found it in a wooded area near the location. When I witnessed this guy jumping, where's the rifle? I don't see it.
Well, you're a gun guy, Andrew. Are there rifles that can be like disassembled or?
Sure, but my understanding was, so if you have a Mauser that's a fixed barrel, that's not something you're going to be able to take the barrel off of without specialty.
Does Andrew Wilson not know about Corby Hall's tactical AR that folds up? I don't think that's what happened here. But like, that was the question from Brian Atlas to Andrew Wilson. If there's like all weapons can be disassembled. Okay. You have to take them apart to freaking clean them, okay, and replace parts. But what Brian was alluding to was some sort of weapon that could quickly like compact itself, right? And Andrew doesn't even touch on that, but he then goes on to say that, yeah, a 1943 Mauser, which is around 42 to 49 inches long, okay, definitely could not be disassembled in the time. There's literally, from the moment of the Big Bang to the moment of the person on the roof is running, is like no time. Like literally, it's Big Bang, run. No time to disassemble, okay? And remember, the original story was that he disassembled it on the roof, and then he reassembled it in the woods without the screwdriver that's on the roof, okay? But yeah, this Mauser is non-existent in this footage. You don't see it at all. And what we see here is Andrew Wilson and Brian Atlas clearly having major, major concerns about the investigation and pieces of evidence that are being pushed out as fact. And yet then he moves over to this camp defending TPUSA and is, you know, overwhelmed and totally convinced by the evidence, even though it's only 75 to 85% convinced and overwhelmed. But he believes that Tyler Robinson is the lone gunman who killed Charlie Kirk from the Losi Center rooftop with a Mauser, with Grandpappy's rifle. So what could have happened between the filming of this and when he started being, you know, the horse for TPUSA? And how, explain to me how that organically happened, that happened organically, and that there's no collusion or collaboration between him and TPUSA. You can't. There's no way to honestly connect those without this other nefarious, you know, explanation, which is that he got brought in to do exactly what he's doing now.
Tools, a gun vise, and various things like this. If I remember correctly, on the Mauser, that is a threaded, not pressed barrel. So you're not just going to unthread that barrel. That's not how that works. You don't just go, and unthread the barrel and you're good to go.
Correct.
That has to be a specialty takedown rifle.
Yep.
Yeah.
So even if this was disassembled, if you have a barrel length and then you have the stock, which is there, that should protrude from the backpack. And then also on top of that,
I can't show the video, but there's a video of a guy that disassembles the rifle into two parts and puts it in an extra large backpack, and the buttstock and the barrel still stick out of it. So, and that's, remember, they want you to believe that in the footage of Tyler Robinson, Eagle Boy, right? So not Tyler Robinson, but Eagle Boy, walking up the stairs where he's limping with one leg, they want you to believe that the rifle is disassembled. You know how they want you to believe that? Okay, let me break it down. Because the prosecution and the authorities said that on the video, but they never show us. There's I don't know how many minutes, like 5 minutes missing from the Losi Center rooftop video, from the time he gets up there to the time he runs out to the corner. And in that time, they say that he assembled the rifle. Okay, so a couple things that are issue there. That means, why is he limping? If the rifle is disassembled, okay, into two parts, then what's down his right pant leg? And that's not going to go past his knee. He's going to be able to bend his knee. Why would he limp then to draw attention to himself? Well, because he's got to make it look like he's got a rifle, but they're telling you that it's disassembled. And they're saying that the other half is in the backpack. But that's not true. It would stick out the top of the backpack. So is it assembled or disassembled? And that's what is so, I have so many issues with the official narrative, because it doesn't resolve any of the questions and issues. It creates more. Their answers in attempt to resolve these issues only make more issues. Okay. If the rifle is disassembled in two parts, he doesn't need to bend his leg. Okay. It wouldn't go past his knee, and then it'd be sticking out of the backpack. And that is the official story. They are saying that it is disassembled, and they want you to believe that he assembles it on the roof. Insane.
You're not going to disassemble that in a way where you reassemble it on top of a building.
I agree.
Without that outstretched barrel being there. So where is the rifle itself?
Great question.
If you zoom in on this guy, Brian, do you guys see it? Am I crazy?
Nope, you're not crazy. You're crazy now. Dishonest now. Okay, it ended. I'm going to find that full video of Brian Atlas and Andrew Wilson.
Well, I've only met him once when he came to campus and was teaching some of our debaters, like, the ideas of logical fallacies and debate tactics and things like that.
Mhm.
But this was
So the time he came down there to teach people about logical fallacies and debate tactics, that also was when he grilled everyone, questioned everyone, hugged Erica Kirk, and got text messages and other evidence to now go home and defend you guys. That's your story. You only met him once. He only came to headquarters once, and he came there for the debating thing, but then he ended up actually doing all these other things, which have nothing to do with debating, except for debating Candace.
He did this on his own. I mean, he's been on a mission to debate all these people for, I believe, months now.
It's his whole brand.
I know.
Yeah, so it's like, listen.
That's how dishonest they are. I don't even know that they know that this video exists of him and Brian Atlas, and that he is questioning the official narrative. And then all of a sudden he changes. Yeah, he's not doing this on his own accord, bro.
I support him. I want him to win, obviously. But this is his own thing. And I think he did a great job for himself by going on Rogan and kind of picking the fight and offering up the money. And now everybody knows Andrew Wilson's name. So, good on him, I guess, right? When it comes to the actual debate, would I have done some things differently than Andrew? Probably. I think what I notice is that because he's a logician, he's seeing sort of the debate in a way that I don't think the average viewer is seeing it, right? The average viewer just sees that, Candace kept talking and kind of dominated how much, how much she was saying, and that they just kind of on vibes and feels kind of goes, oh, I think maybe she won. Plus she has a bigger audience, so she gets to tell them all that she won, and then her audience is just gonna regurgitate and parrot what she says.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
But
that's what you're doing.
But if you actually watch the debate with a discerning eye, and you're looking for concessions, you're looking for logical traps, I think he did brilliantly. And he actually got her to sort of concede the entire premise of the debate very quickly. Mm-hmm. And also, I think it's one of those things that's going to age very well because, she basically conceded that she had no evidence multiple times, said,
Mm-hmm.
oh, she's because of her professional limitation, she's not able to get it. Well, thanks for all the death threats then,
right,
I guess,
exactly.
because of your professional limitation. Thank you for me having to have my family flee from multiple homes when we're getting incredible death threats from your audience. This is great.
Oh, okay.
So I'm glad that you did all that on vibes and feels and dreams. And,
she's allowed to think, Andrew. She's allowed to think.
And to have dreams. Okay, so with that, with the death threats, with the stuff that you guys have been through, with the stuff that Erica, I can't even imagine what she has gone through. Are y'all going to sue her? Is somebody going to sue her? Because I know,
she's already being sued.
Yeah,
she's already being sued.
But we need everybody to sue her. Everybody, Andrew. We need to bankrupt her. Is what we need.
There it is.
Don't reveal anything that you shouldn't.
We need to bankrupt her. Look at his grin. Look at her. Look at the lady on the right with the glasses fawning over him. Holy smokes. I mean, these people say that they're Christians. Okay, this lady, Candace Owens, is a mother of about to be 5. She has 4, and the 5th is on the way. And they want to ruin her. They want to destroy her and her livelihood, her job, her career, her name, her brand, everything. They want to bankrupt her. I'm just
just know that our heart is with you.
I hear you. And listen, right. what you're expressing is basically the same emotion when you were waiting for me to chime into the debate and get into the fight. And I understand all that, trust me. And I'm sorry we kept you waiting as long as we did on that.
No,
it's just,
we totally get it. We do.
Just put it this way: there's many considerations to keep in mind, and but I hear you.
I'm glad that we are heard.
I understand.
And I guess part of us, we wondered over the past several months because we don't take the high road. We want to be like Erica.
Oh my God,
in so many ways. We're both.
They do not take the high road. Yeah, we know. We know they want to be like Erica, the angel, but they're not the devil.
So much better than
both
us.
want to be like her.
You know
like
what,
she
though?
is. We're
Can
like,
I just
be like
address
Erica.
this?
Yes.
Can I just address this? I love that you don't, because I know you're serious Christians, and I know that your faith is serious to you and very important to you. And
but flawed.
I do
flawed.
think here's the thing. If you do not fight for what is right, if your view as a Christian is that you're going to be a sewing circle Christian and you're just going to, pray evil away without taking any action, I think that is very destructive. That's how you lose America. That's how you lose Western civilizations. That's how you lose what real truth and evidence and logic is. You lose reality. And so I really, one of the things that I have grown impatient with is this, like I said, the sewing circle Christian phenomenon that doesn't want to get their hands dirty, that doesn't want to actually engage in the battle of ideas and in the arena, because that's not actually what God calls us to. God calls us to be way more engaged than that, and to fight for the widows, fight for truth, fight for justice. And so, but that was something that I had to kind of work out as well, because I didn't want to get in the mud with the pigs because of how absurd it was, because of how just, they felt like it was like one giant humiliation ritual. They demand that you tell them something, therefore you must respond. Yeah. No, I don't owe you anything, actually.
Yes, exactly.
And as a matter of fact, if you're going to level the accusations, the burden of proof is on you.
Yes.
And by the way, excuse me if I'm not going to, tap dance like a little circus monkey every time you tell me that I have to do something. Yeah. And so, that was part of it, but it was also kind of a Christian ethic of not wanting to, sort of sully, get my hands dirty.
Yeah.
And I think that's a misreading of scripture. I think that's a misreading of our Christian call to, you think about the Christians that came before us, and they took up arms to defend their country.
Yes.
You think about the England expelling the Viking invaders as they, raped and murdered the priests, and as they stole the golden items and the religious objects from the churches. And they took up arms and they fought like hell to get them out of there.
Yes, they did.
And there is I think this weakness, this lack of spine from Christians is actually one of my big takeaways from this whole experience.
And it's hurting us in a lot of ways, because we talk about how we feel like a lot of what's happening in our country now is spiritual warfare. Like a lot of these people who are anti-Semitic, they're pro-Islamic, and that to me is anti-American. And I'm like, where are the Christians? The Christians got to rise. We have to rise up now with all this nonsense that's invading our country. And you know what? The people like the Candaces and the Tuckers and all that, they're not helping. They're not helping, and it's not.
There's a lot of confusion.
There's a lot of confusion. There is, and we know that TPUSA has a very long relationship, and Charlie did too, obviously, with Tucker. And there's concern. I see it a lot, even in our own audience, when they're like, "Why is TPUSA still?" Why are they not disavowing the Tucker, Jack Posobiec, some of the folks who seem to be promoting some of these ideas that are so counter to what
You guys. Holy smokes. Okay, so while I'm doing this, I'm trying to find, and maybe one of you guys can help me and you can send it to me in my email. I'm trying to find the video that I just played a short clip of Andrew Wilson and Brian Atlas on the Whatever podcast. And Andrew Wilson's casting major concerns and doubts on the Tyler Robinson investigation and the case against him and the evidence against him. And I'm trying to find it. And so I was looking it up, right? And look at what it says. So I Googled, I said, no, I need the episode of Brian Atlas and Andrew Wilson discussing the Tyler Robinson case and casting doubt on the evidence. It says Andrew Wilson has never cast doubt on the physical evidence against Tyler Robinson. Instead, he has been the primary figure defending the official prosecution case. Okay. Yeah, no, he did. And so I'm trying to find this episode, and I don't know which one it is. This is just an X posting about it. And I don't know, maybe it would be on, okay, so, oh, you know what? I know what I can do. Let me put this back on so you guys can keep listening while I try to look this up. All right.
TPUSA seemed to be to our audience to be about. And there's concern about some of those voices and their prominence. And we get that there are longstanding relationships and we don't want to step on those at all. But how do you respond to those concerns, especially around elections when there's all these young people who are like, go Fishback and like, go Bilzerian.
You're like,
and we're just like, what is even happening? Are you seeing that in some of the TPUSA young college
I mean, I think when it comes to like Blazarian and Fishback, I mean, there was a lot of young people that were really on fire for Fishback. I mean, to deny that, I think you would be, you would just be lying. I talked to the students. I mean, you know, he would release, you know, like TikTok videos with zero content in it. It was just synth music. It was all like, it was all vibes. I have a, and they, by the way, they would do huge numbers. They would do huge numbers. But you know, then you get to the election and you realize, I think I was looking at some of the precincts and it was, you know, Fishback probably, you know, I think eked out a win in the 35 and under crowd at the precincts, but it was like, you know, it was basically 1-to-1, you know, it's like 30% for Byron, maybe like 32% for Fishback, and then you know, for the rest of the field. So I have a couple thoughts on that. It's not like Byron got completely blown out of the water with younger voters. He totally held his own. And I would also say that I think you kind of age out of some of this stuff genuinely. Yes. But I think we have to be really honest about the fact that young people have been called anti-Semitic or haters or toxically masculine for a long time. And I think a lot of those charges have been completely unfounded. I'm reminded of a roundtable that I did with Charlie at 2025 Student Action Summit. I think it was in July. And it was kind of during all the Epstein stuff. And you know, this one kid said, well, I've been accused of being an anti-Semite. Like, why don't I, like, what do I care now if I just like, why don't I just act like one? That was his kind of take on being labeled. And so I think we have to be really careful with the way.
I'm going through the Crucibles, which is Andrew Wilson's channel, the videos that he has to try to find it. He's got one here. I don't know what this one's about, but we can come back to that. He's saying they picked wrong versus Candace Owens. But I'm trying to find the one where, okay, I'll let you guys keep listening while I look for this.
That we approach these issues with young people, because I hear about it all the time. And I got into this like $20 burrito thing by accident. I tweeted out the $20 burrito. I wasn't trying to be like, hey, you know, don't pull yourself up by your own bootstraps, or don't work hard, or don't, you know, cut your spending. That's not what I was saying. I'm saying to not address the real true feelings of the electorate is political malfeasance. Yes. And we should just at least be willing to be honest about the fact that it feels expensive for young people, or they don't understand our relationship with Israel. They don't feel like America is putting America first. They do hate being in foreign wars. They do hate all of these things. So
I just found one and it's labeled, "Was he stupid?" And it's Charlie Kirk. Is it up? Let's take a look.
Is besides immigration, because as a Democrat, I'm willing to concede and take accountability, something that the right is.
An adjective?
By you explaining something to him, by you trying.
Hold on, let's see if it's got a transcript. It does. Let's see.
Hold on a minute. Do I think that Charlie Kirk was stupid?
Yeah, I mean, he clearly liked Trump.
Well, when he says smart people don't like me, that's insinuating that.
Oh, he's asking him if Charlie Kirk was stupid. Let's see if. Oops. So that's not him saying it. And that's the only time Charlie Kirk's name came up. Yeah, that's fair. And I will, I promise. But I wanted to dive in because it says smart people don't like me. does that mean that you think Charlie Kirk is stupid? And then he doesn't really answer. Hold on. Let's go. Tyler Robinson. No, it doesn't come up. All right. I'll keep looking.
A lot of our kids, they got no special animosity towards Israel. They just are seeing all the chatter and they're going like, well, it does kind of feel like we're getting dragged into wars that we don't want to be a part of and we don't understand the necessity of. And it does kind of feel like Israel plays a role in that. Now, this is coming from somebody that I happen to like love many Jewish people. I have great admiration for the Jewish people. I like them more than the other guys. You know what I mean? Like I'm,
Right.
you know, like I'm just saying that young people, I think we do ourselves a disservice if we paint it as either pro or against. There are 1,000 different variations in between about how you're allowed to feel about our relationship with Israel. And it doesn't mean you're an anti-Semite. And I think voices like Fishback, to a lesser extent, probably Tucker and Candace and others, have become, I guess, pressure release valves for this discussion. And sometimes, obviously, it goes too far.
Right.
I totally agree. I reject Jew hate completely. I think it's from the pit of hell. It's an ancient evil. Scapegoating any race, especially one that is so small, religion, is a terrible, terrible thing to do. As Charlie said, it's a road to nowhere. It will lead to misery. So that's my word to all young people. It's like, hey, your questions about our arrangement with Israel are totally fair. About Benjamin Netanyahu, a Likud party, about all that. It's completely fair.
That's what we're saying.
You are allowed to put your own country first.
Totally.
You're allowed to love America more,
Yes.
right? Okay. Baseline standard. But do not give in to scapegoating. It is literally an ancient evil. It is from the pit of hell, whether you're doing it about blacks, whatever other.
Candace has never scapegoated anyone. She has brought up current and historic issues with Israel. And there's a lot there. But she's never, only gone after the people. She's talked about the country and the political leaders and what they've done historically and presently. That's it.
Special interest group there are, and Jews. Okay, so don't do that. Be a victor, don't be a victim. Look yourself in the mirror. Don't use some other group to excuse away your own problems. Okay, now that doesn't mean that the larger conversations aren't fair. So that's how I look at it. I think you're going to see some aging out. An interesting observation is like from 2016, some of the original alt-right guys. And you're even seeing this kind of from like Fuentes a little bit, where he's just like bored of the, I don't know, kind of the like lazy Jew spurging that you see online, and just how it's like completely dumb and idiotic stuff where Jew is the answer for every single, question.
Even though he promoted a lot of this.
From some of these alt-right guys.
Right.
What's that?
Even though he promoted start of a lot of this.
Oh, totally. Yeah. I mean, that's completely true.
But the aging out, I totally get. I do.
The aging out. You see, this is my point. From the 2016 era, a lot of these original alt-right guys that were like kind of on this anti-Jew kick, they're not on it anymore. They realize it's kind of a road to nowhere, and it's pretty stupid, and it's actually like kind of low IQ stuff. And so,
I did find this. So, I was texting Zach because Zach is the one that posted it on X, and I'm seeing if he has the full video. He's not able to send it right now. He's occupied, but he gave me the account on X that posted it, and so this question was about. Yeah, Andrew, isn't it hilarious how Candace's fans say they can't see the rifle? Kind of like when you said the exact same thing.
One, they just refuse to see evidence. That's the other thing. It's like these people can spot a freaking artifact in it, like one pixel, like, oh, that's a bullet. That's a bullet. But as soon as you show them something like this, it's like, look, there's this rigid thing that he is climbing off the roof with that's clearly defying gravity, and he's not a magician. I don't see it. I don't know what you're talking about. I can't see that at all.
Doesn't exist.
Doesn't exist. Like, I don't know what you're doing.
Look at Andrew's gonna make a joke about it because he knows. Gary doesn't know. Gary doesn't know that Andrew did a show with Brian Atlas and literally said there's no rifle there, and said that as a gunsmith, his experience, it would be impossible. So he's going to make a joke to try to not actually add in an actual statement of his opinion because he knows there's a conflicting opinion of him on the internet.
It's pretty wild.
But I do have many questions here, and I've been pretty vocal about them. Where's the rifle?
Did they find it? I thought they found it.
They found it, yeah, but here's the interesting part. They didn't find it on the roof. They found it in a wooded
woods?
area near the location. When I witnessed this guy jumping, where's the rifle? I don't see it.
Oh, I thought it doesn't exist.
Is that
you're a gunsmith? Yeah, is that? And then he makes a joke with Gary. It doesn't exist.
You're a gun guy, Andrew.
You're a gun guy.
Are there rifles that can be like disassembled,
collapsible? Yeah, there is.
Sure, but my understanding was so if you have a Mauser that's a fixed barrel, that's not something you're going to be able to take the barrel off of without that. You're not going to disassemble that in a way where you reassemble it on top of a building.
Correct.
Without that outstretched barrel being there. So
yeah,
where is the rifle itself? If you zoom in on this guy, Brian, do you guys see it? Am I crazy?
No, you don't see it, Andrew.
Where is it?
I don't know.
Like, are you talking when he's walking in, or like as he's leaving?
Anywhere. I don't see it anywhere.
He doesn't see
any of this footage.
Any of it.
He looks like he's carrying it, to be honest. Where
is it? Could it be?
Maybe, I don't know. Zoom in. Maybe I just can't see it because it's too small.
Man, Logic Bender, thank you for finding this. And someone needs to clip all of his recent statements of saying that the surveillance footage shows Tyler Robinson with a barrel down his pants, with a rifle down his pants, right? That he believes, remember, his position was to defend the official narrative. His position is that the current evidence against Tyler Robinson as the lone gunman is overwhelming and that he is convinced by it. Yet 8 months ago or freaking 11 months ago, whenever this original clip aired with him and Brian Atlas, he clearly was underwhelmed and not convinced. What changed? What changed?
I'm just going to go frame by frame here. I don't know if it's too small for the...
And I'm playing this because this is a longer clip from that episode, so we're getting more information.
Here, why don't I just bring this full screen for a sec? So what I'm looking at is this little protrusion here. I'm just going to go frame by frame. So I'm looking at this thing here.
Yeah, there's nothing.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
Yeah, there's nothing there.
I mean, that looks like a thin object that would be a...
No.
I mean, what else would that be?
Don't know yet. Keep going.
Okay. Frame by frame. Obviously, it's not the best quality, but... It looks like it's in his hand.
Yeah, his jacket, his tarp.
Oh. I don't know.
That looks like a jacket.
Is that?
It looks like a jacket.
Is he covering it up though? Is what I'm thinking. Like
I don't know.
He's covering it with a jacket.
I don't know. Somebody in the chat said it's not a Mauser, but the ATF leak said that it was a repurposed Mauser. Now maybe it wasn't, but at 30-06, I can't think of very many takedown rifles in a 30-06. So I'm not really sure, but I have been confused about this footage since they released it because look, you see how that's dangling? It looks like it's dangling.
And the official ballistic expert that testified that it was a 1943. So not that it was retrofitted, not that it had been updated. Like Brian Atlas was just alluding to, like, okay, well, maybe it was a 1943 Mauser, but then they modified it. They modernized it. No, not true. And clearly here, Brian is trying to be like, it looks like there is a rifle there. Oh, you see that? You see that? And Andrew's like, you mean the jacket? And he says, you know what the problem is with this surveillance footage? Oh, I thought there's no problem with the surveillance footage, Andrew. It's weird. It's super weird. I got a feeling. I got a vibe here, bud. A vibe check. Check your pockets. They may be a little bit more full today than they were when you filmed this.
I don't know. I'm not sure that that's the rifle, guys. I'm not. Now maybe I'm crazy. I don't know, but it doesn't look like he's carrying.
But look, so it looks like here he is wearing a backpack. So it's not his backpack. Yeah. So wait, is this his arm, or?
It's very hard to tell. I'd have to really do an analysis. I only saw this first time today, and I haven't zoomed in and done analysis.
Yeah. Analysis.
It just doesn't. I'm not
seeing it. Yeah.
I'm confused as to where the rifle is. I don't see it in any of the footage of him walking in.
He doesn't see it on any of the footage of him walking in, walking up the stairs, on the roof, off the roof. Andrew doesn't. Someone's got to get this clip to Candace. Holy smokes, dude. What changed, Andrew?
That they have. And I'm not exactly clear that I see one now. What else would it be? Come on. I don't know. It looks like a jacket to me.
Looks like a jacket to me, too. What do you know?
Rifles are fixed. They don't move. It's not like they're
not flimsy, right? Floppy, dangling.
So wait, hold on.
Andrew, Brian really wants there to be a rifle there. Why does Brian really want there to be a rifle? He's trying to find an angle and a certain frame that he can pause and go, aha, there it is. Right there in that one frame. You know, when you're trying that hard to make something look like it's there, when it's clearly, obviously not there, you're moving backwards from a conclusion, bud. You're just supposed to watch the clip and then move to a conclusion. You're in the process backwards, dude. You're trying too hard to try to show Andrew that there's a rifle there.
Hold on.
Somebody said, look at the TMZ video before from the house. You can tell. Maybe that's true.
No.
So he drops this here.
A jacket.
So he's holding it. He drops it.
A jacket.
Then he picks it back up with his... When he picks it up...
A jacket.
Okay. If you were holding a jacket, this thing right here, it wouldn't protrude it looks like it's protruding out.
What is that thing, though?
This? It looks narrow. That looks like the gun right there.
Maybe. Keep going.
But does this look like the what is it? The butt of the gun? The back of the gun?
No, I'm not sure. No. I'm not sure what I'm looking at.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Is I'm not exactly sure what it is there that I'm looking at.
And so that's the other thing. So okay, let's play devil's advocate for a second. Let's say the rifle is there, but does the video show that? Can you, from the video, look and go, for sure that's the rifle? Or are you taking tremendous leaps to try to arrive at that conclusion? And this is supposed to be a big piece of evidence, which is the shooter right after the shot with the rifle. And so even if the rifle is there, does the video clearly show it or not? Look at how hard Brian Atlas is scrubbing back and forth there it is. Even in that one where it looks like it's something that's a little bit more solid, he's grabbing the jacket and going like this because he's about to turn around and jump off. When you pause a motion video in one frame, it becomes fixed. So even though when it's playing and it's in motion and it's moving, when you pause it, it's fixed. So yes, something that's flimsy in motion when you're playing the video, but then when you pause it, it's going to look fixed. And so Brian is trying way too hard to make this thing there when it's not there.
See, now look, if you look at the tree line, you follow that tree line up, right? If you back those frames up, it looks like that same spot that you're talking about is still there. The thing that you are claiming is on his back, it looks like it's still there once he's dropping down. Watch. Keep going. Yeah, see that thing right there that you're talking about?
This?
Yeah, keep going.
Right.
And it looks to me like there's still this purplish thing that's still there. Keep going.
I
more,
agree.
more. Yeah, see? Look, see how that purple thing is still there?
No, well, this is something.
I know
else.
it's something else, but what is it?
I think that's the gun.
No,
Is
Brian.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Beyond reasonable doubt, beyond probable cause, and enough to say, for one, can you say that that's Tyler Robinson? No. No honest person can say that. Number two, can you say that that is a rifle? No. No, you can't. And this is supposed to be one of their big pieces of evidence. And that's how bad it is.
I don't know either. Okay. Like, I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying I'm not sure.
It looks like he has he has like the jacket
He's
draped
not sure.
around the
Around
gun.
what?
The gun.
Okay, let me spell something out for you, ladies and gentlemen. A 1943 wooden Mauser, an original Mauser, is anywhere from 42 to 49 inches. I'm 5'11", 6 foot, depending on when you measure me, time of day, and if I'm wearing, well, no, even flat-footed, because that's when they always measure you flat-footed in the doctor. I took a measuring tape, and it goes from the ground up to my armpit. It's a massive gun. It's a very large gun. Brian's trying to say, like, it looks like the jacket is draped over the rifle and that you can still see the rifle. You know who also said that? Freaking Officer Bagley said that. And what's her name? Catherine Nestor was like, you can see a rifle in this footage? And he's like, whoa, no, you can tell that it's underneath the blanket or it's underneath the thing. And then she's like, the towel, the blanket? And he's like, well, you can't tell that it's a blanket or a towel, but you can tell that it's a rifle under there. And so that's the same argument Brian is making right now, that you can tell that there's some sort of solid, like, you know, one solid object underneath there, and there's not. And I just find it very sus that he's trying really hard to convince Andrew that there's a rifle in this dude's hand.
The gun.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Doesn't. I don't know.
Let's see. What else was there?
We don't know, honestly, and neither do you. And this is you guys being honest before any potential money was ever exchanged, right? And the prosecution and the Utah County's Attorney's Office and the FBI and TPUSA and Andrew Kolvet and all of the major mainstream news publications are all trying to say that this evidence is good evidence, that this surveillance footage clearly shows Tyler Robinson and clearly shows a rifle. It's just ridiculous. This does not meet probable cause. There's nothing informative about this piece of this video. You can't tell who it is. There's no timestamp. You don't know when it is, what day it is. You can't see what's in his hand. You can see some sort of towel, blanket, jacket. You can't see anything underneath it. Why is this video even given to us as evidence? What does it actually do? What is the purpose of this piece of evidence? Bueller, do you guys know? It is so they can put disconnected Lego pieces on a table in front of you, and you are going to look at them not connected, and you'll just, as an adult human with a brain, are going to go, yeah, these things go together. You see how you can just put them together and then it makes this one thing. They're separated, they're not connected, but they want you to draw connections between these disconnected pieces of evidence, and they want you to connect them. It fits the narrative. It fits gaps in their narrative. Oh, well, this was right when Charlie was taken out, and look, he climbs up. Who is it though? Oh, they're saying Tyler Robinson. You can tell that? No, you can't. Can you see the rifle? No, you can't. This piece of evidence was entered to shape and create this narrative That's all this piece was. And same with the surveillance footage of him limping. There's nothing of value, of substance, and there's no real information to be gleaned from those surveillance photos. You can't tell who it is. You can't tell if there's any weapon in his pants or in his backpack. It is to fit the narrative. That's what all of this evidence is. Any of it, even when you put it together, doesn't actually point to Tyler Robinson being there and taking the shot. It fits their narrative. That's all it is.
I wanted to react to.
By the way, I mean, just like me, if I was on top of the roof like that, I would have just tossed the rifle off the roof and then jumped off down where the rifle was. Why would you try to carry it down like that? It's kind of silly, right?
You would just toss it off?
Yeah, it's grass.
Yeah, of course.
It's just grass.
That's a very bulky thing to be hopping off
with one hand.
With
right.
I agree.
And my prayer is that as we, get past this era, like, you look back and we talk about what was peak woke. Was it like 2021? Was it 2022? Like when did it peak? I think you're going to look back and you're going to see like this peak on whatever this online phenomenon is.
I hope you're right.
I hope so.
I love that perspective. I really hope you're right.
Oh, we
need that kind of optimism because it does seem there's so much that seems dark right now.
It's just cringe, to be honest. To be like honestly, like it's just really it when you watch it play out, you're like, this is dumb. You guys have so much cognitive dissonance that you can't hear any other rationale for any other problem that you think we're facing, except for insert said JOOS. Like, I mean, it's comical, and hopefully they wake up to it, and they should, because if you're going to be a man, then you need to like own your own business, and you need to look yourself in the mirror and say, what did I do about my own problems today, instead of blaming somebody else?
Yes.
And this is still America. This is still the land of the free. It's still the greatest country in the history of the world. You should be kissing the ground that you walk on, being thankful and having gratitude to the Lord Almighty for having blessed you with the ability to be an American in the year 2026. If you cannot look at that, it doesn't mean that anti-white racism isn't real. It is. I hate it. I loathe it. I hate DEI. I hate all the CRT crap. I hate the trans cult stuff. I hate it all. But you can still do an amazing, amazing thing in this country, and that is you can still get married. You can still have kids.
Hold on. I think somebody sent it to me. Let me see. I usually... Okay, I have it. I don't know if they talk about it the entire time. I don't know if you guys are down for the ride, but let's see. We got the video of him and Brian Atlas talking about the Charlie Kirk assassination, and we should definitely dive in. Jameson Social, thank you for the gift. Let's see how it starts.
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Are you oh, there it is. Hold on. Are you streaming also, Andrew, or are you just no? Okay.
No, I sent the audience over to you earlier.
Oh, thank you, man.
I was just finishing up as you were getting started. So I think I had somewhere around 15,000 live between the two platforms. So we sent them on over to
Absolutely. By the way, I'm going to get right into that. I'm doing a bit of a new tech setup here in my podcast. I was watching Charlie. Like I was watching his campus stuff. I mean, I think he'd been doing that since 2017 for a really long time. So I was aware of Charlie well before I started my podcast, well before he even came on. I'd watch Charlie, I'd watch Steven Crowder, I'd watch, some of the Daily Wire.
Hey, you guys are awesome. I just had 3 different people all email me this video. I got the first one first, and so that's what I clicked on, but 2 other people sent it. You guys are outstanding for being able to find it and send it to me. Thank you so much.
Stuff like Michael Knowles, all that stuff. All those people.
Candace.
And but we had Charlie on in
Thank you.
It was like January, February 2024. We had him on the second time in June of 2025. And
let's start with the first time you had him on.
Yeah.
Charlie Kirk walks in the studio.
Yeah.
This is a large man. Yeah.
He's tall. He's 6'5" or
6'5".
something. Tall guy.
Yep.
Did he give you the Kirk smile?
Oh yeah, he came in. He had his entourage around him, and I give him a big handshake. He's got a big smile on his face, and he greets me, and he greets the rest of my staff.
Yeah, of course.
Very friendly guy.
Yep.
Nice, super nice guy. And then, he was only able to, do a brief period of, being on the actual show. So he pretty much, we already had the guests ready to go. And he comes to the table. There's like the 8, 9 girls or whatever.
Thank you.
He introduces himself. He's super polite to everybody. I think he maybe even, I don't know if he shook everybody's hand, but, introduced himself, cracked a joke or two. And then we did the show. And he was, he was very polite on the show. Very nice guy. Streamed with us for 2-3 hours. And then, he had to go do, he had to take off. And, I went back. I said, hey, thanks for coming on. Thanked his whole team. His team was great too. Everybody over there's super awesome. I think I don't know if it's exactly his manager. Lives here in Santa Barbara, local guy.
Andrew Kolvet, not his manager, PR. Okay, that's Andrew Kolvet used to live in Santa Barbara, but right after the assassination, moved to Arizona. Okay, we're going to keep looking at this. Hold on, let me read this from Alex Gottmittens. Master Judeo-Mason, Master Sniper, Master Gunsmith, Master Debater equals Master BSer. They all took the shekels. I'm biting my tongue. You're doing a good job. It's hard with these guys, but you're doing a good job. Got to bite the tongue. We're rated G here. All right. Yes, we got to keep it G. All right. Christ is king. 100%. 1,000,000%.
How did the women respond to him?
Okay.
At first,
jerks or this type of thing, and they have a public persona that they don't live up to terrifically. Now, Brian, did you watch the close-ups, didn't you?
So yeah, I woke up yesterday
of the assassination. So this must be like, let's see what day this posted. This posted on September 12th. All right. So this was just 2 days after. I don't know if it was filmed on the 11th and posted on the 12th or filmed and posted on the 12th. I can't tell if it was live or not. I think it was live.
And usually the first thing I do when I wake up is I don't know, just check my phone.
Yeah, everybody does that.
And I had like a link. First thing I saw yesterday was I saw the video, like the close-up video. And yeah, it's just completely shocking, completely disgusting. And yeah, just
did it kill you over? Like, were you in shock? Couldn't really believe what you were seeing? Seemed surreal.
Yeah. I mean, I almost hopped out of bed in a panic, like, holy fuck. I don't know. And
I know it's difficult. I know it's difficult to talk about. I get that.
Yeah.
I will say real quick, I'm going to have a quick drink with the whatever audience. I haven't seen.
We can't have that on mine. I mean, get past the booze.
And you froze. I don't know why. Go ahead.
You saw that. When all of this was going on, all this madness was going on, I got a text in the evening from one Brian Atlas. The very first thing he said, he sent a text over to my wife too, were these words, "Are you okay?" The question there wasn't just a matter of physical safety, of course. I don't think that Brian necessarily had any worries on that front. The "are you okay" is, I think when guys like me and him see something like that, we instantly understand, could have been me. It could have been Brian. That could have been any number of creators that we know who do IRL events. By the way, he wasn't the only one. Pearl Davis, first thing that she texted me is, "Are you okay?" But Brian didn't hyper focus on himself, but rather was asking the legitimate, genuine question. Like, man, are you doing all right? Are you feeling all right? Is that because of how gut-wrenching that was, Brian?
Well, I mean, I was going through it, and I mean, I'm sure, we're in the sphere, and I figured you guys seeing that must have been feeling.
I'm tied because I want to watch the whole thing. I don't want to miss anything because you never know when they're going to say something that is the thing that you might be looking for. So I don't want to skip, but I want to finish this video and then we can look at that video. But I also don't want us to have to listen to the whole thing. So I might end up just like kind of skipping through it to see if I find something. And then on my spare time, which I don't have a lot of, but not on screen, I can like watch the whole thing and listen to it and pull out the clips that we need to listen to. But let's finish with these chicks and Andrew Kolvet, because there's only like, I don't know, a little bit left. Yeah, there's 9 minutes left.
You could, afford a home. All those things are harder now. So we have to balance our messaging and say, yeah, there's some things that structurally you have disadvantages of over the boomers or whatever, or Gen X. It doesn't mean you can't succeed if you try hard. You work your butt off.
And as women, we understand that even harder, I think, because I look around the world, I tell my daughters, I'm like, look at how lucky you are to be an American woman. And so, yeah,
totally.
I get what you're saying. Exactly. Amen.
Yes. Daisy, do you have another question? Because I have.
No,
this
you
is
go
like
first.
flown by.
You go first.
It has flown by, for real.
I think I talked too much. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay.
I'm glad it's flown. That means you're having a good time, Andrew.
I was looking forward to this all day.
Good.
Good.
Thank you for saying that. Well, and really,
He likes his older ladies.
it's just sort of a girl question. And I know you're not a girl, but you have contact with Erica all the time. And we just want to know how she's doing.
Oh, yeah. He's in contact with Erica all the time. Remember, he loves Erica. Loves her. Okay. Don't forget. We'll look more at that later tonight.
Yes.
Like, how is she coping with all of the crazy, and how's she juggling it all?
Right. And we're moms. And so we're very protective.
Yes.
And, we're old too. So
Yes, you are.
we're just super protective of her. We don't know her, but.
Love that though. It reminds me of that group chat that they were making a big deal about the 92 people or whatever on this group chat.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And like what blows me away is that people can't understand. Like, okay, first of all, nobody paid anybody. Like Turning Point didn't have any of those people on payroll. They literally just did it themselves. As far as I can tell, it's just kind of like organic stuff that pops up. By the way, they have all these group chats on that side that are just obscene.
Okay, so it didn't happen organically. There's no way. There's no way, you guys, that Andrew Wilson is watching in the beginning. He's on, September 12th. He's looking. Your first reaction is typically the right one. All right. Most times, like, trust your instincts, trust your gut. And when you watch something and you're trying to, because that's your most objective point is in the beginning, right? You might have some, implicit biases, but for the most part, I would say Andrew Wilson's response watching this 2 days after the assassination and his take on it is going to be the most objective, the very, very least subjective point. And he's like, I don't see anything. I don't see a rifle. In fact, in any of the videos, I don't see who it is and if there's a rifle on him. And yet then months pass. He's watching everything go down. And here's the other thing too. An entrepreneur, and I'm not trying to say like he is an entrepreneur, but I mean, whatever, in the entrepreneur spirit, is you're trying to solve a problem. If you can solve a problem for someone that no one else is solving, you become very useful to that person, company, organization. It is possible that Andrew saw this major problem that TPUSA was having and also saw that their major enemy is the left, just like Andrew Wilson's major enemy is the left. He saw that Candace Owens had a massive audience and was having massive impact with her show and with releasing evidence, and saw that this was a massive opportunity to hitch his wagon to TPUSA. He saw that there was a problem that needed to be solved. Nobody was solving it. And that by him inserting himself, he would help solve this problem. Would he do it effectively and all that? We could argue some other time. No, but it's possible that in the beginning, it wasn't TPUSA that reached out to him. It's possible that he saw all this happening and he was like, aha, I can take advantage of this. I have a platform. I debate people. We have shared common interests and goals. We have shared enemies, right? And nobody else is doing this. I'm going to insert myself and I'm going to start defending them. I'm going to start making videos of them. And eventually they're going to notice. And eventually there might be a possible relationship, business, professional, personal, that evolves out of this. And that I'm going to make myself very useful to them and irreplaceable to them. And he knows too that they just got $500 million in 6 months. Okay. He's going to know that there's a possibility for a cash exchange here. Right. And that not only could he solve the issue by debating, and he also knows that Charlie Kirk being the debater and the one that was going around debating kids on campus, and he would have noticed that TPUSA tried to put out Frank Turek, Jack Posobiec, Graham Allen, Shane Higgins or Winans or whatever, Blake Neff. They've tried to bring other people to fill that space, Cabot Phillips, Ben Shapiro, to fill the space of pick up the mic, go debate on our behalf. And nobody was doing it. Nobody was doing it well. And they pulled people out quickly. Oh, get out of there. No. You're not doing it. And saw the opportunity was too big to pass up. That being motivated by fame, power, influence, success, and money, that he injected himself into this arena and became something that they couldn't do without. And this is me speculating and hypothesizing that this could be a potential, explanation as to how it happened. But then once he was doing it and he debated Zach Costello, he debated Stu Peters, he debated other people and, did good. In Andrew Kolvet's own words, he said, I like how Andrew does business. I like how Andrew Wilson conducts himself. Andrew Kolvet respects that. Just take that for what it is. And that there would have been a reach out at some point and been like, hey, you want to come down and meet the team and train my next crop of debaters in your tactics? And we got a job for you. And while you're at it, while you're down here and we're paying you to teach debating, why don't we also coordinate and collaborate on this other major thorn in my side, Candace Owens? Tell me, do you think that's possible? You didn't watch the debate with Zach and Andrew? It's not worth watching. Zach was too gracious. He was too nice. He was too kind. Zach was trying to actually debate Andrew on the merits of the case and the evidence. And Andrew wasn't having it. He was playing rhetorical tricks, debate tricks. He was talking over Zach, interrupting Zach, getting Zach bogged down in meta arguments that had nothing to do with the evidence. If you wanted to watch a debate that Zach did, and he did well, watch the one he did with Gary Melton. Not right now, later. But the debate with Andrew Wilson, it just didn't. Andrew didn't come to debate in good faith. So I never served. I'm a real FFL. Okay. When Andrew Wilson said that a 30-06 projectile disintegrated in midair. Yeah, remember he actually said like a core lock, and then he called it a frangible round. That it disintegrated in midair. I lost it. That's why we have firearms, because we know the projectiles will not disintegrate in midair. Yeah. He doesn't know his weapons. He doesn't know his ammunition. He's wildly ignorant to so much of the things he claims to be an expert on. Debating, firearms, and the case against Tyler Robinson. And yet here he is. But tell me what you guys think about my possible hypothetical scenario as to how Andrew saw a problem that needed to be solved and he interjected himself, and that could be a possible explanation as to how it all came about. I mean, also the other option, I don't think that there's any option at all where he's just doing all of this on his own and that he had no forethought of wanting to make this some sort of business relationship down the line. I just don't think that's an option. The only other option I think that is possible is that they reached out to him. Whether that's before he started debating like Zach and others, or after. But clearly, I think the most plausible one of the way it happened is the one that I just speculated on personally.
I can tell because they brigade my comments. I can tell it's the same people that do it. Yeah. So, anyways, the point is, but they were just gathering around because there is this instinct to defend Erica from a lot of people in a lot of quarters of the internet because they see how, she's been wronged. I think she's the most defamed like human on planet 100%. Earth in 2026. And I certainly have that instinct as like Charlie's friend and as somebody who's known Erica since they started dating. I really want to protect Erica because it's the right thing to do, and she doesn't deserve these attacks against her. So anyways, that was all organic as far as I know, and nobody was paid. So that's first thing. But I love that your instinct is to defend her and want to look out for her, and I think that's godly, and I think it's really sweet and kind. She's doing great, believe it or not.
Good.
We know.
I think, listen, she's lived through the most horrendous thing ever. She was thrust into the spotlight with no real, she did pageants when she was young.
Whoa. First of all, she was not thrust into the spotlight. It was her decision. She could have turned it down. Okay. She had a choice in this. This wasn't forced. She wanted it. She grabbed it. She grabbed that mic and she's not letting it go. Also, you might want to talk to your boss, okay? Because your statement is about to be that, like, she had no preparation for this. She herself said she was coming into the office every day and that Charlie was preparing her for this because he was walking around telling everyone, hey, I know I'm 31 and super healthy, but if I die, Erica's to take over. Erica, I know that would basically leave my kids orphans at home because you guys all know I work 325 to 350 days a year. We're constantly on the road. Even Andrew was complaining about that fact, saying that like Charlie didn't have any boundaries, at least early on, and that Andrew's wife didn't appreciate that about Charlie, that he would call at all hours and make Andrew work nonstop. So no, Charlie's not going to sign his wife up for that because the whole scenario is if I die, if I'm gone, then I want you to be in my shoes. And then hypothetically, the same shoes that I got murdered in and put my wife in that kind of danger? No. Nope. And she wasn't coming into the office like she lied, right? She lied and said that she was being trained and that, Charlie wrote this journal, which is a blueprint for TPUSA for the next 5 years, right? Or 4 years, 2030, but it happened in 2025. So, and that it was like it was written for her. No, it's a personal diary that by your own admission, you had never read. He never let you read it when he was alive. It was private. It was for him. And you only got access to it because he was murdered.
younger, and she would go on stage with Charlie. By the way, it's not like she, I don't know, it's not like she wanted to do that.
Right.
Even, I mean, it wasn't that she wasn't trying to be against it or anything, but Charlie was the one who wanted her to be up on stage with her to do this husband and wife conversations on stage from time to time, to model marriage for people.
Yeah.
And she was willing to do that to serve her husband and to serve the mission that he was so devoted to.
Such a
and
lie.
so she was willing to do that, but she wasn't like seeking the limelight here. She was very much happily what everybody that hates on her wanted her to be, a stay-at-home mom who had a part-time like kind of business on the side, but she was a stay-at-home mom, and her whole job was to raise her kids and support her husband.
Yeah.
Her part-time business, she sells Proclaim and Bible in 365 like an actual company that she developed over the years to run self-sufficiently without her. It's not a part-time job. She's raising 2 kids under 4 at the time of the murder, and she didn't even wait 48 hours before accepting the position as CEO, and she has hit the ground a running. She is just, the opposite of the saying, a fish out of water. She is, swimming in the stream of significance. She is in the jet stream of the devil's will for her life, right? To use some of the phrases she says.
That's what she was doing. So she was living the model life. Now, as somebody who knows that, because Charlie told me a couple of different times that Erica would take over if something happened. I was at the very controversial Aspen event where the very controversial,
Aspen, right?
The Aspen event. Sorry, I get it confused with the Hamptons events. Yes.
That's weird. Oh my gosh, look at this lady's chuckle. Holy smokes, lady. I don't know why you would get Aspen confused with the Hamptons. Totally different settings, totally different locations, both of which you were present for. And Aspen is when he supposedly said the famous line, if something happens to me, I appoint Erica to be CEO. Turning Point will make a great decision. She'll do a great job. And Andrew can't even remember this. Yeah, because it didn't happen.
So sorry.
Same kind of people, right? I don't know.
Crazy stuff. Yeah, right. I'm trying to keep track of it all.
Yeah, he knows. Trying to keep track of all the lies. We know, Andrew, when you spin so many lies, it's hard to keep track of them all. We know. We're watching.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, the Aspen event where he said, he was asked by one of the donors in the crowd, what happens? Do you have a succession plan? And he said Eric from the stage. So I knew she was going to basically take over. The board had been informed by Charlie that
basically take over. Okay. Words are important. That she was going to take over. Okay.
That was his wish. But nobody really took it that seriously because we just thought we were going to have another 50, 60 years with Charlie, running around, being his regular
being president
crazy
one day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we all kind of had that, I think, in the back of our mind, wondering if that was his ultimate destination. But she's doing as well as could be expected, and she's so strong, and her faith really has just guarded her. And I also want people to know there's a great team around.
What faith? I wonder what faith is guarding her. Not our faith, not the faith that we have. I wonder which one he's talking about.
That supports her too. I mean, all of Charlie's kind of, lieutenants and leaders of the organization are still around supporting her. And that was the way that Charlie kind of set up the organization, where he couldn't necessarily be on campus at HQ every day because he was out speaking or doing events or doing debates. And so he was the sort of spiritual leader of the organization. He was the guy who drove excellence, that kind of vision cast. And Erica.
So who does that now? Who drives excellence? Who's the spiritual leader? Who vision casts now that he's gone? Erica? Ooh. You? Oof.
Is very equipped to do those things, I will tell you. And but it doesn't mean we still don't have all of these people that are leading the various verticals within the organization still in place.
Nuts.
And, we know the marching orders. We know what we're supposed to do because, Charlie was close with all of us. And so she's doing great. She spends a ton of time with her children. We have even when she comes in the office, we have kids toys everywhere.
Love.
It's like a little daycare here. People like don't know this stuff. Like she spends so much time with her kids, and that's been another attack that's unfair. Oh, one other attack that
Wait, so she spends so much time with her kids. How is she running this organization? She's not doing both, right? And I was told by a very credible source that Michelle McCoy is taking care of the kids. Rob's wife. Yep.
I've just been thinking about the last couple of days. It really
and Erica said she's in the office every day.
Ticked me off. And it's been like this thing that I wanted to respond to, but I didn't want to bring more energy to because I thought it was like lame. But I saw it on Joe Rogan and this thing where he was with these comedians the other day.
Yeah, let's get it.
And they brought up the sparklers at the memorial, and it's so.
Oh, I'll bet you he's about to say that was Charlie's thing. Charlie loved the sparklers, more fireworks, more pyrotechnics. What do you bet he's going to put it on Charlie?
Frustrating to me. Do you know we've been doing sparklers since I think like 2020 at Turning Point events, and then it kind of took on a whole new life of its own when we produced the event, the rally where RFK Jr. endorsed President Trump, and there was all those sparklers effect, and there was the Foo Fighters song, and they ended up getting sued for using because the Foo Fighters didn't like it.
Right?
Threatened by them.
We also. They did a cease and desist for us on our radio show.
Oh my gosh, they don't like the chicks on the right.
No,
Dang it,
like
Foo
us.
Fighters.
No.
Yeah, my childhood
they don't like
bands
anybody
just
on
keep
the right. No.
Terrible. Anyway, so it was like this iconic, memorable turning point moment, and Charlie at that point was just like, I love it. I was like, we need to do these everywhere. And so what people don't remember about the memorial, it wasn't just that we put sparklers in front of Erica. By the way, she didn't even know that she was going to have sparklers. Yeah. I think like the thing that people have in their head is that
she's demanding
she was like,
it all.
Okay. And when I get 3 steps out onto the stage, boom, hit the sparklers because mama needs her sparklers.
Oh my God.
Like that's not what happened.
We got to clip that. Mama needs her sparklers, you guys. We got to clip that. I take 3 steps out. Boom. I need sparklers because mama needs the sparklers.
I had no idea. Like we threw that event together like by the seat of our pants.
Yeah.
Everybody's like living on caffeine and like pure adrenaline and grief, candidly.
Grief. They're living on grief. You're motivating them to work. What was it? 20-hour days, 60-hour weeks. I know that the math doesn't add up. That long days, long weeks, exhausted, not eating, not sleeping, extremely, traumatized by everything, the assassination, and probably they saw videos, and they were motivated because of the love and respect and admiration they had for Charlie, that I guarantee you that inside the organization, they were saying, don't let Charlie down. This is how you don't let Charlie down. Don't mess up this event. This is his memorial. This is when we remember him. This is when we honor him. The world is watching. They want to know if the organization can continue on without Charlie. This is how we prove to the world that Charlie equipped us and trained us all. I guarantee you they were manipulating, and using people's grief and the love and admiration they had for Charlie to get them to do something that normally just an employer couldn't do, and shouldn't do ever.
Right.
And it was the production team, the AV team, and the events team that did it. And they did it for like Tulsi Gabbard. They did it for a bunch of the different people that came up onto the stage. It was after a certain point when it was like cabinet level or whatever, everybody got them because it was an ode to Charlie and something that Charlie loved. It was a statement of a turning point kind of event signature. And so that just bothers me to no end that
it should.
Yeah, it's just such a lie. And we addressed it, I think, early on, but then, they just kept bringing it up, and people, if you repeat the lie enough, you can't remember it.
We talked to Glenn Beck about the memorial. Do you remember? And one of the things he said, he was so moved at that memorial. And he's like, God was in the room.
Oh yeah.
Chicks. Like I just remember him telling, I'll never forget. That's the one thing I remember about the conversation that we had with Glenn Beck. He was so moved by the memorial and just how he felt in that room. So people who weren't,
you could
part
feel
of
the
that,
Holy Spirit. You could feel the Holy Spirit moving in that room. So it was like,
that's what he
was
said.
humming like a tuning fork.
Yeah.
Is actually what Tucker Carlson said. I'm stealing that line from Tucker.
Isn't that
I saw him
amazing?
backstage and he said the Holy Spirit is humming like a tuning fork.
Well, he should be protecting his wife then. He should be
it was a good
coming
line.
at the aid of the widow then.
Would you
so
do us a favor and tell Erica that if she would, we would be honored for her to join us at some point, and that we have her back, and that we're here saying all the things and fighting for her,
our community,
and our
saying all the things.
Our entire community.
Yeah,
for sure.
Our entire community is so pro TPUSA, pro
That's
her.
so
and
sweet.
when we
Thank
talk
you.
about her, people are like, pray for Erica. And people are.
All these people are grifters, man. They see that TPUSA went from $100 million a year organization to probably now $1 billion a year organization. Like 5 months ago, it was like 500 million, and that they were losing this battle online, the perception of the public, and they all are trying to make themselves known by TPUSA as the defenders of TPUSA, because they would love for this this to go both ways. You give me a little, or I give you a little, you guys give me a little. That's what I see motivating these people.
We have a lot of great people. I mean, our community is bomb.
For sure.
Well, it's such a good name for a chicks on the right, like larger community, you know? It's so good. It's a name that lends itself to community. And you know, I'm not a woman, but as we established earlier, but I really appreciate you ladies.
Well, we
I feel like that was
appreciate
established
you.
really early. Yeah.
Thank you so
Yes,
much.
Oh my gosh, what a joy it's been to talk to you, Andrew.
I
we're just
agree.
so
I wish
delighted.
we should do it again sometime. I really enjoyed our time together.
We would love it.
So,
yes.
And God bless you. May God bless your platform and increase it and grow it, and may your influence keep increasing, because you guys are just what we needed. And I totally appreciate what you're doing and the way you do it.
Thank you.
Thank you. We really appreciate that. Thank you.
Amen.
Bye, mommy. Bye. Holy smokes. All right, you guys. Let me make sure I'm caught up. I didn't realize the time. It got away from me. I have a show in 3 hours. I need to take a break. I need to eat some food. I got to do some things. All right, I'm all caught up on all the super chats. If you guys haven't done so already, please do me a favor and hit the like and the subscribe. Thank you for joining me for this pop-up live. I know it was last minute and it kind of just came out of nowhere, but I felt it was important for us to catch these people and to get it out there. Tonight at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we are going to be watching Andrew Wilson release the evidence. Okay. It was supposed to be yesterday. It's happening today. 6 p.m. Be here. All right. If he makes it members only, I'm going to pay for it so that we can watch it either way. And then I always have other stuff lined up in case he doesn't freaking do it. But yeah, so please tune in. Oh, we got some others that just popped in. Thank you for the gift, James on social. Thank you for the gift, James on social. Thank you, Corn Pop. And thank you for the gift. And then thank you, James on social. Thank you guys for these gifts. I appreciate it. All right, you guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I love you guys. God bless you guys. Oh, wait, just another one just popped in. What do we got? We got Claire says, Charlie and Andrew were never friends. Nope. They were work associates. They were co-workers. I know this for a fact from a friend who worked for the Trump campaign. Can you email me, please? I would love to chat with you via email and ask you some questions if that's okay. I'd love to hear your thoughts and what your friend has told you about the Trump campaign and Charlie Kirk and Andrew Kolvet and that relationship. So please email me. And that goes for anyone. Tips, go to theblacklinebrief@gmail.com. Eventually, the website will have the tips email set up. It's not working right now. I don't know why. But you guys can email me at theblacklinebrief@gmail.com. All right? All right, you guys. If that is it, And it looks like it is. All right. God bless you guys. Love you guys. See you back here in 3 hours. Well, 3.5 hours. God bless. Bye.